Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. At the beginning, he scolded the principal and awakened the strongest sun god. Chapter 21. Even though Lin Yang had never come into contact with this type of card before, he still recognized it at a glance. The Brave card is a specific card issued by the Awakened Persons Association to all awakened people. It is used to measure the contribution of awakened people to the country and society. This is indeed a world where the strong are respected. An individual's strength will determine his status in this world and this country. But equally, the degree of contribution to the country and society is also important. Otherwise, you are a high-level strong man who does nothing every day but only eats, drinks, whores, and gambles. You have no contribution to the country or society, and you have a very high social status, and it is difficult to convince the public. To measure an awakened person's contribution to the country and society, the standard mainly depends on the number of ferocious beasts he eliminates. After all, Blue Star is a world where ferocious beasts are rampant. Without those awakened people fighting and killing ferocious beasts on the front line, ordinary people and human society would not be able to exist. In addition, the number of ferocious beasts killed and the level of the Brave card will also determine an awakened person's status in the Awakened Association. The levels of Brave cards, from low to high, are bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. The higher the level, the higher the status and importance in the Awakened Association. Yes, going to the occupied area to kill ferocious beasts will not only be very helpful for you to learn your natural martial arts in the future, but most importantly, it will allow you to earn rewards and go to the Awakened Association to purchase training resources. In this way, the problem with the spiritual crystal is solved. Luo PC nodded. Is this so? Lin Yang checked the Brave card in his hand, and the Brave card popped up on the light screen. There is his personal information on the light curtain. Name: Lin Yang. Gender: male. Age: 18. Occupation: student, school, God's Training Academy. Grade: pre-freshman. Level: bronze LV1. Number of beasts killed: 0. Account amount: 0. Lin Yang nodded, knowing that the advice given by Luo PC was very pertinent. The Brave card is bound to a bank card account, which will record the cardholder's killing of ferocious beasts. Every time a ferocious beast is killed, the cardholder will receive a large reward. Lin Yang remembered that for killing a one-star beast, the Awakened Association would reward him with 10,000 Sha national coins. The price of one spiritual crystal is 100,000 Sha national coins, and the 40 spiritual crystals he missed are worth 4 million Sha national coins. If he didn't go to occupied areas and kill ferocious beasts, it would be difficult for him to earn so much money to make up for the gap in training resources. Lin Yang glanced at Luo Saidong next to him and asked Luo PC, "So the dean asked Saidong and I to gather here early in the morning, and also wanted us to go to the occupied area to practice." Lin Yang was not stupid either. Luo PC had already applied for the Brave card for him, which was obviously a scheduled project that had been prepared long ago. Even if he doesn't have enough cultivation resources, Luo PC will make arrangements for him. Yes, anyway, there are still 5 days before the freshman year starts. If you are idle, you are idle. You might as well go to the occupied area to practice. Luo PC nodded and winked at his daughter Luo Saidong. "Saidong, you can also practice that move." He asked Lin Yang and Luo Saidong to go to the enemy-occupied area to practice. In addition to the fact that actual combat can improve their understanding of subsequent learning of high-level talent martial arts, there is another reason. The strongest attack method of Luo Saidong's, Goddess of Dawn, is called God's Extinction, which is a sure-killing light produced by condensing the energy of the gods. This move can even kill the opponent across 2 large classes. The power is very terrifying. However, since Luo Saidong's current divine attributes are not high and he does not possess much divine energy, it is difficult to use it alone. Therefore, this requires the help of Lin Yang's divine energy. With Lin Yang's help, Luo Saidong will most likely be able to use the most powerful killing move, God's Extermination. Well, to put it bluntly, Lin Yang was used as a charging tool to develop new moves for Luo Saidong. "I know, Dad." Luo Saidong nodded obediently, and she looked at Lin Yang with expectant eyes. She wanted to use the most powerful killing move before, but due to insufficient divine attributes, she couldn't do it. And now, as long as she connects to Lin Yang, Lin Yang, a God solar power bank, can be injected into her. Inject divine energy. But then she can use God's extermination, which will be powerful. Dean, are you leaving now? Lin Yang's expression was a bit painful. It's so cold that we have to set off, doesn't it seem a bit too sudden? And I don't know how to get to the enemy-occupied area. He has no objection to going to occupied areas to kill ferocious beasts. After all, he has powerful skills such as Palm Thunder, Fireball, 3000 Thunderbolts and Sandstorm Burial. He can kill 3rd level or even 4th level ferocious beasts. He would definitely be happy to earn high bonuses by killing ferocious beasts, which would allow him to make up for the lack of training resources. But the problem is that Lopez's arrangement was too sudden. You must know that individuals, including small groups without organizational attributes, must report to the Awakened Association when entering occupied areas. And the procedures are very cumbersome. After all, the occupied area is very dangerous, and it is difficult for people like cats and dogs to enter and exit freely. Don't worry about this, I've already found someone to take you. Luo smiled. As soon as he finished speaking, a military off-road vehicle drove over. What a coincidence, it just happened. Luo smiled and pointed at the off-road vehicle. Soon, the off-road vehicle stopped in front of the 3 people. The car door opened, and a man with silver hair in his mid-30s walked out from the driver's seat. He waved to Luo and said hello, good morning, uncle. Hey, I haven't seen you for half a month. Saitong is getting more and more beautiful. He also laughed and teased Luo Saitong. Lin Yang was a little surprised. The silver-haired man who got off the car also had blue eyes, and he was obviously a Lolo's tribesman. This is already the 4th Lolo's tribesman he has seen. Lin Yang was not blind. He saw the silver-haired man's names for Luo and Luo Saitong and knew that the silver-haired man was Luo Saitong's relative. You are so lewd at your cousin, you stinky man. At this time, a curse came from the co-pilot, which was a bit harsh. What do you know? This is called fun, this is called smooth. The silver-haired man rolled his eyes and shouted back. Uncle, it's this classmate who went with Saitong, right? Yes, his name is Lin Yang. Like Saitong, he is both a God-type talent awakener. I told you this last night. You must have remembered it, right? Luo nodded and introduced to Lin Yang. Our Gods Training Academy cooperates with many teams in the Hunter Alliance. The captain of this Kamakazi team is Saitong's cousin, Luo Tianming. Wait, just take you and Saitong in their team's car and go with them as trainee team members. Why is the success rate of Gods Training Academy so high, even better than Imperial University? This is the reason. Starting from the freshman year, all students must serve as intern team members and frequently follow some teams into occupied areas to practice and kill ferocious beasts. Practical combat is the best way to improve your strength and temper your character. Moreover, actual combat can also improve the understanding of learning high-level talent martial arts. The students who can be admitted to the Gods Cultivation Academy are not bad to begin with. Under this kind of high-intensity experience, you can imagine how fast they grow. It is no exaggeration to say that there are no bad students in the Gods Training Academy. Even if someone like Luo Mang has a somewhat arrogant and domineering personality, his strength is still considerable. You are junior brother Lin Yang, right? Just call me senior brother Luo. I am also a graduate of the Gods Cultivation Academy. Okay, senior brother Luo, I'm sorry. Lin Yang smiled and shook hands with Luo Tianming. He was about to pull his hand back, but found that Luo Tianming was still holding it, and he came closer with a smile on his face. Well, junior brother Lin Yang, I heard that your divine talent seems to be even better than that of our Saitong. Have you considered joining any organization after graduating from college? If not, should you consider our Kamakazi team? Quote. Luo Tianming laughed softly. Forehead. Lin Yang was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Luo Tianming to want to win over him as soon as they met. Isn't this a bit too abrupt? But in fact, this is normal. Top universities are not the only ones who want to recruit outstanding talents. Organizations and teams, large and small, are also eager for young talents with outstanding talents. As the captain of the Kamakazi team, Luo Tianming must be very fond of geniuses with outstanding talents. Even if his temple is small, if he attracts a super genius, he will make a lot of money. So he had already prepared a big move before he came. While saying this, he quietly stuffed a business card into Lin Yong, which was his contact information. In this way, junior brother Lin Yong, if you join our Kamakazi team, I can bring you and Saidong together, what do you think? Think about it, my future cousin-in-law. His idea is very simple. This talent is not inferior to his cousin Luo Saidong's super genius. His Kamakazi team will be determined. More than 10 minutes later, the car was not far from the destination of occupied area number 5, less than 1 kilometer away. Where were you looking just now? Were you peeking at the woman with her belly button exposed? I do not have it. Still saying no. Look at you now, you are no longer enthusiastic about me. Can you blame me? Look at you before, you were as tender as water, so I must have been passionate about you. But now, you act like boiling water every day. Even the steam is irritating to your eyes. I don't dare to get close to you. Captain Luo Tianming was quarreling with his wife in the front. They were obviously a pair of little enemies. Looking back, it was much more harmonious. The members of the Kamakazi team were quite polite to Lin Yong. Mainly because Luo Tianming had already given his team members a pass before he came. Even if he didn't reveal the secret that Lin Yong was an awakened god, it would still be enough to reveal that Lin Yong was a genius who was admitted in advance to the Gods Training Academy. It's enough to make everyone admire you. Vice Captain, what did your girlfriend call you just now? It's nothing, she just thought about it. I figured it out. Vice Captain Lu Feng is very funny and is an experienced driver. Vice Captain, can you please stop driving randomly? There are girls here. Ha ha ha, what kind of girl are you? The steel plate is not as flat as you, ah. Don't pull my ears, it hurts. The other team members are also quite interesting. Overall, Kamakazi team is a pretty good hunter team. Lin Yong felt that in the next 4 years of his college career, he could serve as an intern team member and follow the Kamakazi team to kill ferocious beasts in occupied areas to make money to make up for the lack of training resources. As for officially joining, Lin Yong has no idea yet. After all, he hasn't officially entered college yet, so it's too early to think about this. 3 minutes later, the car arrived at the entrance of occupied area No. 5. People from the Awakened Association and the military were stationed at the entrance, and the guards were quite tight. Luo Tianming took out the passes of his Kamakazi team from the car window, and the guard immediately let them go. Hunter teams like the Kamakazi team that have registered with the Hunter Alliance, or some awakened organizations, can easily enter the occupied area. The car drove into the occupied area, and Lin Yong looked at the environment of the occupied area through the car window. The biggest difference between occupied areas and urban areas is desolation and ruin. The buildings one after another are dilapidated and dilapidated like unfinished buildings. There are a lot of weeds growing on the surrounding ground. On the way, you can occasionally see some cars and motorcycles that have been turned into scrap metal. It is very desolate. You can't imagine that this place was a prosperous area in Guangzhou City 20 years ago. When I first came in, there seemed to be no ferocious beasts in this area. According to Luo Saidong, this was just the edge of the occupied area and there were no ferocious beasts. Those ferocious beasts all gathered in the center of the occupied area. On the way from the edge of the area to the center of the occupied area, Lin Yong found many large trucks driving back, and the backs of those large trucks were filled with the corpses of ferocious beasts. Lin Yong knew that it was the vehicle used by the Awakened Association to recover the corpses of ferocious beasts. The ferocious beasts are indeed dangerous, but most of their corpses are worth a lot of money. Especially those high-level ferocious beasts. Certain parts of them are priceless treasures. Through special processing, they can be used to create powerful weapons and protective equipment with amazing defense capabilities. As we gradually approach the center of the occupied area, we can vaguely hear the roars of some ferocious beasts. Cousin, please put us down at the intersection ahead. Luo Saidong saw that it was almost done and said. Luo Saidong had already told Lin Yong just now that Luo Tianming and others only sent the two of them into the occupied area, and they would act separately in the future. The so-called experience means that you have to rely on your own strength to cope with and solve difficulties and dangers alone, so that you can grow. Lin Yong naturally had no objections, and he even agreed very much. What did he come to the occupied area to do? Make money by killing ferocious beasts. If he, Luo Tianming and others kill all the ferocious beasts, how can he still make money? How can he make a living? Luo Tianming stopped the car. He turned around and handed a strange-looking device to Luo Sidong. It's still the same as before. When there is a danger that cannot be solved, just crush it. Do you understand? Experience is needed, but Luo Tianming also has to try his best to ensure the safety of Lin Yang and Luo Sidong. Okay cousin, please pay attention to your safety too. Luo Sidong nodded, took the special device and got out of the car with Lin Yang. Luo Tianming and others waved to Lin Yang and Luo Sidong, and the car left. Lin Yang, let's go over there. There aren't many ferocious beasts living there. This is your first time here, so I can make it easier for you. Luo Sidong pointed in a direction. She considered that it was Lin Yang's first time to experience the occupied area, and she didn't want to rush it and let Lin Yang experience it first. No, let's change places. Lin Yang waved his hand. Change to a place with more ferocious beasts. The hunting time is limited, and he just wants to kill more ferocious beasts during this time, so as to earn more to buy training resources. Ah, is that so? Luo Sidong was stunned. Yes, killing a ferocious beast with one end and two ends is too boring. You have to kill it in large groups to enjoy it. Lin Yang hasn't tried the newly acquired A-level earth skill, Sandstorm Burial, yet, and now he wants to use it to test its power. But my current strength is only the second level intermediate level. If there are too many ferocious beasts, I'm afraid. Luo Sidong was a little unsure. It's okay, isn't it me? Lin Yang patted his chest. Don't say 10 or 8, even 100 or 1,000, I can easily handle it. Puff. Luo Sidong was amused by Lin Yang. Lin Yang, I know you are very powerful, but are you exaggerating? I'm afraid my cousin may not be able to handle 1,000 ferocious beasts. I'm not exaggerating. You'll find out later. Lin Yang smiled. Where is the area with the most ferocious beasts in this area? Lin Yang remembered that Luo Sidong told her that although this area is located in the center of the occupied area, it is also on the edge of the center. Most of the ferocious beasts that live here are 1- and 2-star ferocious beasts and are not strong. So he was thinking that since it was clearing the soldiers, they would naturally have to come in large waves. It would be too inefficient to do it one after another. It should be that area. Luo Sidong thought for a while, but still chose to believe Lin Yang, so she took Lin Yang to the area where the ferocious beasts were densest. But before walking too far, 2 black awakeners suddenly walked in front. When the 2 black awakeners saw Luo Sidong, their eyes lit up. Jones, do you see that? That girl over there is so pretty. I see, mad, that evil ghost cat just made me so angry, but I don't have a place to vent it. Now, let's vent it to that woman. The 2 said, walking up with evil smiles on their faces. Luo Sidong was not surprised to see the 2 black awakened people, because there were many hunter teams in each occupied area. The awakened groups came to kill ferocious beasts to make money. It was not normal to meet some awakened people occasionally. Hi, girl, do you want to be friends with us? We are very big, do you want to give it a try? The 2 black awakeners came to Luo Sidong. They spoke broken Mandarin and teased Luo Sidong with lewd smiles on their faces. Lin Yang couldn't help but frown at that time. He was either speaking Mandarin or a foreign language. What the hell is half Chinese and half foreign language? Of course, he knew what disgusting thoughts the 2 black awakened people had in their stomachs, so he waved his fist. Big, your mother, big. My fists are also big, do you want to try them? Phew, Luo Sidong was amused by Lin Yang. She was a little angry when she heard the disgusting words said by the 2 black awakened people, but now that Lin Yang helped her talk back, and the language was so violent, she was relieved. But she also felt it was a bit strange. Lin Yang was usually quite gentle, but now he was so aggressive when he was quarreling with people. Is this the legendary contrast cuteness? No, contrast man. Luo Sidong looked at Lin Yang with her big eyes, feeling that Lin Yang was a bit handsome and manly when he helped her fight against others. Fake, what does our talking to this beauty have to do with you, a pretty boy? The expression of a black awakened person became a little gloomy. He didn't say anything nonsense. He directly pulled out a long knife and pointed it at Lin Yang's nose. Listen carefully, I will only say this once. If you don't want to die, get out of here. Don't hinder my happiness. Quote. Lin Yong was a little surprised. He originally thought that these two black awakened people had more bugs in their minds and couldn't help but flirt with beautiful women when they saw them. But now, he wields the knife when he disagrees. This is obviously going in the most extreme direction. Lin Yong felt that he wanted to re-regulate the rules of the occupied area. It was obvious that the occupied area was very different from the campus. There will be conflicts on campus, but they are restricted by the school's rules, and the most they can do is fight. In the occupied areas, there are almost no rules and regulations. Once there is any conflict, fighting is considered trivial, and even killing is possible. What do you want to do? Luo Saidong's face suddenly became alert. She raised her right hand and pointed her palm at the black awakened man's head. The divine energy began to condense in her palm. Put down the knife, otherwise, don't blame me for being rude to you. Luo Saidong warned coldly. This is not the first time she has come to the occupied area. Naturally, she knows that there will be some bad people in the occupied area. And she, as a rare and proud daughter of the Lolos tribe in a century, and the daughter of the Dean of the Gods Training Academy, she is not the kind of vase who only looks good. When it's time to be ruthless, she is more determined than anyone else. Luo Saidong also knew that the two black awakened people in front of her could not be solved by just saying a few words. She must be prepared to take action. Oh, is he a light awakener? It's interesting. The black awakened man wielding the sword didn't know the divine system. He saw the golden light condensed in Luo Saidong's palm and subconsciously thought it was the light system of the elemental system. He looked down at Luo Saidong's plump chest, showing an evil smile, and was about to tease Luo Saidong for being rude to him. However, at this time, Lin Yong spoke. Within 3 seconds, put down your broken knife, and then apologize to me. Otherwise, your end will be tragic. Lin Yang's eyes flashed with a hint of coldness. He had just re-examined the rules of this occupied area and made some adjustments in his thinking. If those two black awakened people insist on finding trouble, he doesn't mind making them pay a price. My end will be miserable. Oh, then you can tell me how miserable my end will be. While the black awakened man sneered, an aura surged out of him, and his eyes became cold and stern. Lin Yong, be careful. This guy's strength is at the second level of advanced level, and his talent should be the enhancement type that is more common in the superhuman type. Luo Saidong sensed it. She frowned and was about to remind Lin Yong. Boom. However, before she could finish her words, she saw a bolt of lightning knocking the black awakened person away. Luo Saidong's face froze. Before she could react, she saw Lin Yong with one hand on his waist and one hand slightly raised. The lightning power was like it was free of charge, wildly bombarding the black man's awakening. Bye. The third level low-level Luo Meng and Lin Yong are not weak, let alone the second level high-level ones. If you don't listen to the warning, just kill him and that's it. Over there, the black awakened person was just like the ball being kicked away. He had just been hit by a palm thunder, and drew a perfect parabola in the air. He had not yet landed, and then he was hit by another palm thunder. Moreover, every time he received a thunderbolt from the palm, he would be shocked and screamed. The scene was very funny at one time. This. Luo Saidong was a little dumbfounded. Another black awakener was also confused. By the way, before we fight, don't we just say something to each other and wait until the atmosphere reaches its peak before we take action? When we arrived at Lin Yang's place, your teammates suddenly made a move even before they finished speaking. Is there anyone like you? But compared to Lin Yang's unpredictable fighting style, he was even more shocked by Lin Yang's strength. Why did the two of them dare to blatantly want to get involved with Luo Saidong just now? The biggest reason is that they see that Lin Yong and Luo Saidong are not very old. They are probably the kind of college students who come to the occupied areas to practice. They should not be strong. They have enough strength to play with Luo Saidong. But now, Lin Yong actually easily defeated his partner who was equally powerful as him. He was obviously stronger than them. This situation was different. Their side became at a disadvantage. Boy, you actually dare to attack us, do you know who we are? However, Jones did not panic. Instead, he said with a threatening tone, I'm not afraid to tell you that we are members of the Heavenly Punishment Organization. Now that you have injured someone from our Heavenly Punishment Organization, the consequences will be serious for you. Heavenly Punishment Organization. Luo Saidong seemed to know this organization, and her expression changed a little. What's wrong? Lin Yong glanced at Luo Saidong. What is the Heavenly Punishment Organization this guy is talking about? Luo Saidong's face showed a trace of solemnity. I don't know the details very well, but I know that this Heavenly Punishment Organization is an awakened organization with an evil nature. Their behavior is insidious and vicious, and they will retaliate. It just so happens that the leader of their organization is a 6th-level strong man, and the strength of the senior cadres is not weak. This has caused many awakened people in the country to be very afraid of this Heavenly Punishment Organization, unless they have strong enough strength or a strong background behind them. Support. Otherwise we generally wouldn't dare to provoke people from the Heavenly Punishment Organization. Lin Yong nodded, probably understanding. It's just a organization. Oh, I didn't expect you, beautiful lady, to know about our Heavenly Punishment Organization. I'm a little surprised. Jones said, showing an evil smile. Otherwise, you just let us have fun for a while, and we can forget about it and let you go afterwards. As for you little pretty boy, if you kneel down now and kowtow to me a few times, I might consider letting you go. Otherwise, our boss is nearby, and when I call him over, you will be dead. Quote. The reason why Jones dared to bluster in front of Lin Yong, who seemed to be stronger, was not only that he was a member of the Tianpu organization but also that their boss was nearby. As for their boss, he was a 4th-level strong man. He felt that no matter how strong Lin Yong was, he would never be a match for their boss. Jones, are you kidding me? Let that kid go. Why should you let him go? Not far away, the black awakened person who was blasted away by Lin Yang's palm thunder was not happy. He suffered 5 rounds of thunder from Lin Yang's palm, and a lot of skin on his body was burnt. The pain was so painful that it was difficult for him to even stand up. Now he was filled with anger and just wanted to kill Lin Yong to vent his anger. Lin Yong frowned. He was about to say something, but unexpectedly Jones suddenly took action. Psychic blockade. Jones is obviously an awakened person with telekinesis. When he made a move, Lin Yong couldn't move his body. Restricted by telekinesis. Ha ha ha, how dare you get distracted. You're done, go to hell. Jones pulled out his short knife and stabbed Lin Yong in the chest. He knew that with such a close distance and the limitations of his telekinesis, even if Lin Yong was a 3rd-level awakener, he would never be able to avoid this blow. Whoosh. However, Jones' dagger did not hit Lin Yong. Lin Yang's body moved like lightning, and he was behind Jones in an instant. Sneak attack. Are you so ungrateful? Lin Yong sneered, condensed rapid flames in his right hand, and blasted towards Jones. Huge fireball. Bake. The dazzling firelight illuminated the entire surrounding space, and a huge fireball with a diameter of 4 to 5 meters was blasted out, engulfing Jones in an instant. Ah! Jones's hysterical screams came from the space. When the fire faded, Jones was burned into a charred corpse, too dead to die. Lin Yang's face was calm. Since Jones wants to kill him, he will never be merciful. After all, this is an occupied area, not a school. When it's time to be ruthless, you must be ruthless, otherwise, it will only be him and Luo Saidong who suffer. You fool, you actually dare to kill people from our Heavenly Punishment Organization. Not far away, the black awakened man was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Lin Yong couldn't help but want to laugh after hearing this. You are all going to kill me. If I don't kill you back, am I going to stand and wait for you to kill me? Don't think people are stupid, okay? Lin Yong didn't even intend to talk nonsense to the black awakened man. He used 3,000 thunderbolts to reach the black awakened man in an instant, and blasted the latter away with a huge fireball. You dare to kill me, the Heavenly Punishment Organization will not let you go. The black awakened man's whole body was scorched. His head tilted, and the last trace of life was gone, and he was reduced to a completely charred corpse. It sounds like you can let me go if I don't kill you. It's really superfluous. Lin Yong curled his lips. Phew, Luo Saidong had just walked over. When she heard what he said, she was amused by Lin Yong again. In addition, she also felt a little emotional. She felt that Lin Yang's face was so deceptive. On the surface, it looked harmless to humans and animals, but Lin Yang's determination to take action at the critical moment, even after visiting the occupied area several times and killing more than a dozen ferocious beasts. Nothing compares. No matter if you look at it horizontally, vertically or in between, Lin Yang doesn't look like a novice who just entered the occupied area. He's so fierce. At the same time, she is handsome again. Lin Yang, the way you protected me just now was so handsome. Luo Sidong smiled and gave Lin Yang a heart sign with her thumb and index finger. Tisk, don't be so monotonous. Apart from being handsome, there's nothing else. Lin Yang decided to tease this cute girl. Then what else do you want me to praise? Luo Sidong's face turned red, and she pouted, seeming a little dissatisfied. In fact, she rarely praises people in person like this. Just like last night, Lin Yang brought so many surprises to her, but she only secretly praised Lin Yang in front of her father. After finally praising her in person, she actually asked her to increase her efforts. How could she be so embarrassed? Lin Yang smiled and was about to say something, but at this time there was a lot of movement not far away. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Even the ground was shaking faintly, like an earthquake. Lin Yang, look over there, there are many ferocious beasts there, they seem to be chasing a person. Luo Sidong also noticed it, and she quickly pointed a direction to Lin Yang. About 500 or 600 meters ahead, there were more than a dozen ferocious beasts chasing a fat man with billowing smoke. Are you poisonous? There are so many people, but only me is chasing after me. This is unfair, unfair. The fat man burst into tears, yelled, and ran as fast as he could. The scene looked a bit funny. Lin Yang, don't you want to kill ferocious beasts to make money to buy spiritual crystals? Let's go there quickly. Luo Sidong wanted to see what it would be like for Lin Yang to kill a ferocious beast, she said quickly. It's too slow to run over. Please hold on tight. Lin Yang said and picked up Luo Sidong. Now he looked at those dusty ferocious beasts over there, and both his eyes turned into the shape of. What were those ferocious beasts to him? It's money. Money that can run if it grows legs. Now that he finally saw the ferocious beast, it was time to pick up the money. Whoever robs him will be anxious for him. Ah, Lin Yang, what are you doing? Luo Sidong was hugged by Lin Yang, and her face turned red. She has grown so old, and this is the first time that a boy has held her like a princess. Hold on, I'm going to speed up. After Lin Yang finished speaking, he used 3,000 thunderbolts and turned into a bolt of thunder and lightning and disappeared. Lin Yang, slow down, slow down. Jones and Green are here to patrol this area, right? Yes, but I don't know what's going on with them. They didn't even respond to the captain's call. Have they lost their courage? Not long after the two left, two young men in their 20s came here. There seem to be traces of a battle here, but there are no signs of ferocious beasts around. Is it a battle between awakened ones? Look there, there is a charred corpse there. There's more than one, there's also a charred corpse there. When the two saw the charred corpses of the two black awakened men on the ground, they were frightened and went to check them out separately. Isn't this weapon Jones's? It's really Jones. He's dead, he was killed. One of them recognized him, and his face changed with fright on the spot. Jones was killed, then Green. The expression of another man not far away changed, and he quickly checked the condition of the charred corpse. Holy crap, it's really Green. He was killed too. The man recognized him, he didn't dare to neglect, and quickly took out the communicator. Oh no, boss, Jones and Green were both killed. More than 10 minutes later, 3 people came here. Among them, walking at the front was a strong, bald man, about 37 or 80 years old, with a fierce face and sharp eyes that made people feel fear at just one glance. This person is none other than the leader of this Heavenly Punishment Organization team, Mu Tai. Where are the bodies of Jones and Green? Where are they? Mu Tai looked at the 2 team members who informed him to come over. Captain, their 2 bodies are over there. The 2 men pointed out a location to Mu Tai. Just now they helped collect the body, put the body together, and covered it with a piece of white cloth. Mu Tai nodded, walked over and opened the white cloth to check. The 2 team members who followed behind were a little surprised when they saw the tragic situation of Jones and Green, and they discussed in low voices. It's such a miserable death. It's beyond recognition. Tisk, I told the two of them to take it easy and not to provoke other hunter teams all the time, but they didn't listen. I also think they are asking for it. This mud horse is acting like two teddy dogs in heat every day. They are either thinking about snapping or squeaking, and they are always harassing the female awakeners of other teams, Nang-kun. Are you hoping something will happen? Mutai stood up. His face became a little gloomy. Jones and Green were killed by the fire awakener, and judging from the circumstances of their death, the time of death should not exceed 20 minutes. The person who killed them, the murderer, should still be in this area. Start inspections immediately. If you find someone who has awakened the fire element, notify me immediately. Also, Let Away and Yanzu come over. Even if you search the whole area, you still have to find the murderer who killed Jones and Green. Anyone who dares to kill our Heavenly Punishment Organization will make him pay a heavy price. As Mutai spoke, his anger rose, and a terrifying aura burst out from him, which actually shook the ground into a pit. His strength actually reached the 4th level intermediate level. He is a veritable 4th level powerhouse. In a desolate street, there were more than a dozen large ferocious beasts chasing a young man who was a little chubby. From time to time, they roared angrily, as if they were yelling curses. That's enough for you. The kid I threw didn't belong to you, and I didn't do it on purpose. Are you going to pursue me like this? The fat man was about to collapse, and he looked like he was about to cry without tears. Previously, he and his teammates entered an old building and found the lair of a 1-star ferocious beast, the giant-toothed wolf. There were many giant-toothed wolf cubs there, so he wondered if he could take advantage of it and steal those cubs. Walk. Experiments have proven that if the cubs of ferocious beasts are domesticated by humans from an early age, there is a high chance that they can become contracted beasts for summoning awakeners when they grow up. Therefore, the price of those ferocious beast cubs is very high in the market. One cub can easily be sold for 1 million Sha national coins. Even the cubs of high-level ferocious beasts can be sold for hundreds of millions. As the saying goes, you have to pick the wild flowers on the roadside. If you don't pick them, it's not in vain. If you pick them, it's not in vain. Fatty ignored the dissuasion of his teammates and sneaked into the lair. The giant-toothed wolf cub is quite cute, similar to a corgi cub, and its cry is not a scary, ho ho ho, but a cute, chi 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 chi. At that time, Fatty was fascinated by those giant-toothed wolf cubs. He couldn't help but pick one up to play with, but his mother was in the dark next to him. As a result, the female giant-toothed wolf said, "Ah," and all the giant-toothed wolves that were entrenched around it came around. The giant-toothed wolves all stared at the fat man with expressions like, "You're looking for a fight, right?" Being stared at by dozens of giant-toothed wolves, Fatty was frightened on the spot. At that time, his hand slipped and the cub in his hand fell to the ground. Then, the fat man was chased for 9 streets by those male giant-toothed wolves. The fat man was also drunk. It's not unusual for humans to lick dogs. It's so such a ferocious beast has a licking dog, right? And what is quite outrageous is that there are more than 1 or 2 licking dogs. The female giant-toothed wolf has a total of 50 or 60 licking dogs. What? There is also a super queen in this beast. Maid, I will fight with you. The fat man could hardly run anymore. He knew very well that he would be overtaken if he continued like this, so he decisively chose to fight back. The moment he stopped, he picked up a pile of stones and threw them towards the giant-toothed wolves. Burst. The fat man pinched the air with his outstretched palm, and all the stones he threw exploded. Bang 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 bang. Just like grenades. Fatty is an awakened Superman. His talent is explosion. At this stage, he can inject talent energy into dead objects and launch attacks by throwing and detonating them. The power of those stone bombs seemed to be okay, and a large plume of thick smoke filled the air after detonating. However, after the thick smoke dissipated, the dozen giant-toothed wolves were all right. They all looked at the fat man with a look that looked like mocking. Obviously there is no harm caused by the smoke. Quote. The fat man froze. With his current 2nd-level intermediate strength, he can easily kill 2 or 3 1-star beasts. But now, there are 12 heads in front of him. There are too many and he can't handle them. Roar. The 12 giant-toothed wolves opened their bloody mouths and rushed toward the fat man. Ah, I don't want to die. I haven't been in love yet. The fat man was so frightened that he burst into tears. God's light, Saitong, let me come. At this moment, two voices sounded in the space. A huge fireball, a huge fireball. Ah da 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 da. Hong hong bing bing bing. The firelight illuminated the entire space, and 5 huge fireballs with a diameter of 4 to 5 meters shot out, blasting away all 12 giant-toothed wolves. Bang! Those huge fireballs flew 5 to 6 meters, and finally hit the wall together with the giant-toothed wolves, creating a powerful fire explosion. After the flames dissipated, all 12 giant-toothed wolves were burned to ashes. The fat man was so shocked that his eyes widened. He killed 12 giant-toothed wolves in an instant. Who was the strong man who came to save him? The fat man looked towards the direction where the huge fireball was flying, and he finally knew who came to save him. They were a man and a woman with outstanding looks. There is no doubt that those two people are Lin Yong and Luo Saidong. Are you okay? Luo Saidong nodded politely to the fat man. Next to him, Lin Yong saw the various information on the brave card changing, and he was overjoyed. The brave card seemed to be very smart. After Lin Yong killed the 12 giant-toothed wolves, all the information was updated simultaneously. Name: Lin Yong. Gender: male. Age: 18. Occupation: student, school, God's Training Academy. Grade: pre-freshman. Level: bronze LV3. Number of ferocious beasts killed: 12. 1-star ferocious beast, giant-toothed wolf, 12. Account amount: 120,000. Of course, what Lin Yong cares about the most is the account amount. Now that he has killed 12 1-star beasts, he has an extra 120,000 Sha national coins on his account, which he can use to buy spiritual crystals. Lin Yong suddenly burst into tears. In his previous life, as a company manager, he earned a high salary that many people envied. However, no one knows that almost all of his monthly money is used to pay off the mortgage and car loans. Now, he killed 12 giant-toothed wolves in one wave and instantly earned 120,000 Sha national coins. It seemed that his earning power was even better. But in fact, all the money he earns has to be used to purchase training resources. These past and present lives are so similar. Blanche. Wang Zuan, also known as Fatty, was obviously a little surprised when he saw Luo Saidong's appearance clearly. The Lolo's clan, aren't you the daughter of our dean, junior sister Saidong? Luo Saidong was slightly startled. You know me? We know you. I met you when you attended the event with the dean at the school's anniversary celebration before. Wang Zuan said. He took off his backpack and pointed to the school badge on the backpack, which was the school badge of the God's Training Academy. Junior sister, you don't know how many boys in our class were discussing you when you appeared at the anniversary celebration. Wang Zuan showed an honest smile. My name is Wang Zuan. I will be a sophomore in college after the summer vacation. You can just call me senior brother. It turned out to be senior brother, what a coincidence. Luo Saidong was a little surprised and a little happy. Fortunately, she and Lin Yong arrived in time, otherwise her fellow schoolmate would have been killed by those giant-toothed wolves. By the way, junior sister Saidong, was it the big brother over there who took action just now? Wang Zuan looked at Lin Yong with admiration in his eyes. He knew that the Rolo's people all awakened strange talents like elves and fantasy beasts, and could rarely use fire power. Moreover, Luo Saidong was a new student and could not be strong enough to kill 12 giant-toothed wolves in an instant. Then it could be Lin Yang's hand. Wang Zuan secretly thought that if Lin Yang could kill 12 giant-toothed wolves instantly, he might be a 4th-level powerhouse, or even a 5th-level powerhouse, someone with a great background. At this time, Lin Yang came over. Brother. Senior brother, you are mistaken. Lin Yang is just like me, he is just a freshman. Luo Saidong laughed dryly. What? He's a freshman. Wang Zuan thought he heard wrongly and everyone else was dumbfounded. In this instant, I killed 12 giant-toothed wolves. My elder brother, who looked 100 times more powerful than me, was actually a prospective freshman who had just graduated from high school and not yet gone to college. Is he my junior brother? Is this too fake? Lin Yang, this is the senior brother from our school, senior brother Wang Zuan. Luo Saidong saw Lin Yang coming and introduced him to Lin Yang. Is he a senior from our school? What a coincidence. Lin Yong was a little stunned. He politely stretched out his hand towards Wang Zuan. Senior brother Wang, hello. In fact, he was quite grateful to Wang Zuan. If Wang Zuan hadn't brought him a wave of vicious beasts, he wouldn't have made his first pot of gold so quickly. Brother Qian, well, junior brother is humble. Wang Zuan shook hands with Lin Yang, who was a little dumbfounded. Looking at Lin Yang's appearance, he was indeed younger than him. But at the age of 18 or 19, how could he be so powerful? It stands to reason that even if a quasi-freshman who has just graduated from high school has outstanding talents and has awakened his talents in advance, he cannot be so strong. Being able to instantly kill 12 giant-toothed wolves must have reached the 4th level of strength, right? Just as Wang Zuan was thinking about it, Luo Sidong asked curiously, by the way, senior brother Wang, why are you alone here in the occupied area? Are you here to practice during the summer vacation? Well, actually I'm not here alone. Wang Zuan scratched the back of his head. He was a little embarrassed that this senior fellow was actually saved by his junior brothers and sisters. I came with a few classmates, but when the group of giant-toothed wolves chased them out just now, I and them ran away. In fact, he told a little lie. He was not separated from his companions. Because he refused to listen to his teammates' dissuasion and insisted on seeking death, he accidentally stabbed the giant-toothed wolf's lair and was chased by countless giant-toothed wolves. Those teammates were frightened and hid one after another. This senior, who was supposed to be a senior, was already a little embarrassed to be saved by his junior brothers and junior sisters. It would be a bit embarrassing to talk about this embarrassing situation. He has a fat face, but is thin-skinned. He doesn't want to leave the impression of, oh, so this senior brother is a scam, to the junior brothers and sisters he just met. Lin Yang said with an, I understand, expression. It seems that, senior brother Wang, you are here to kill ferocious beasts to make money, right? Making 120,000 yuan per second just now made Lin Yang a little bit excited, so he also felt that Wang Zuan, like him, was working and studying. Earning some pocket money during the summer vacation is not a routine operation. That's right, we received a special commission from the Hunter Alliance and came here to do a mission. Wang Zuan nodded. Assignment. Lin Yang was stunned for a moment. Yes, although you can make money by killing ferocious beasts, the efficiency is a bit low for us. It is more efficient to accept entrusted tasks. Wang Zuan nodded. Is this so? Lin Yang pinched his chin, seeming to be thinking about something. Yes, he was thinking that if it was faster to make money by entrusting tasks, then he could also do it. Lin Yang, you just came from Qianding City, you don't know this yet, right? Luo Sidong told Lin Yang. Actually, the mission of the Hunter Alliance is mainly for those particularly urgent situations. For example, some large consortiums and awakened organizations want to obtain some kind of ferocious beast in a short time. If the material is not available on the market, they will pay a high price and issue a commission to ask some awakener teams to quickly help them obtain the material. Quote. Lin Yang understood, and his eyes became a little hot, so the price of this commission task is very high. It's much higher than simply killing ferocious beasts. Luo Sidong nodded. The price in the Awakened Association is 10,000 Sha national coins to kill a 1-star beast, and 50,000 Sha national coins to kill a 2-star beast, which is relatively low. As for entrusted tasks, they are basically above 500,000, some more difficult tasks can even reach millions or even tens of millions. For some awakened ones who are not very strong, it is more profitable to form a team to complete the commission task than to go alone to kill the ferocious beasts in the occupied area. So that's the case. Lin Yang nodded slightly. Such a comparison shows that entrusted tasks are indeed more cost-effective. Especially young awakened people like Wang Zuan who are still in college and are not particularly strong. They cannot be like Lin Yang, who can easily kill a large group of low-star vicious beasts in seconds, and even have to spend a lot of effort to kill them. In this case, accepting the entrusted task is the optimal solution. Lin Yang pinched his chin. He had an idea. Before coming to the occupied area next time, he had to go to the Hunter Alliance to see if there was any suitable commission. When the time comes, you can kill the ferocious beast and complete the commission at the same time, making money on both ends, a win-win situation. By the way, senior brother Wang, you said that you and other senior brothers and sisters came here to complete the commission task. Now, has the task been completed? Luo Saidong was a little curious. Wang Zuin looked a little embarrassed. Not yet. Someone of us has already sensed traces of the blue-eyed glazed python here, but we couldn't find where it was hiding. Is it a blue-eyed glazed python? That kind of ferocious beast seems to be used to hiding in some abandoned buildings. Senior brother, can you find it in these nearby buildings? Luo Saidong is warm-hearted. We looked for it, but we couldn't find it. Moreover, when we entered a building earlier, we found that there were hundreds of devil-faced spiders inside. We were almost wiped out. Wang Zuin smiled bitterly. Hiss. Before he finished speaking, Lin Yong seemed to have received some incredible information. His eyes suddenly lit up, and he approached Wang Zuin and asked, hundreds of ghost-faced spiders. Really, senior brother, where are they? The ghost-faced spider is a 2-star evil beast. What does hundreds of ghost-faced spiders mean to Lin Yong? That's hundreds of 50,000 yuan, money bags. If this wave is completed, we can earn at least 5 to 6 million Sha national currency. Wang Zuin was a little stunned at first, and then he was a little surprised. Junior brother, you don't want to go there, do you? There are hundreds of ghost-faced spiders there. It's okay. This experience must allow you to experience some difficulties and dangers. Otherwise, if it is too easy, this experience will not be effective. Lin Yong chuckled and said, besides, these hundreds of ghost-faced spiders are nothing to me. Lin Yong is not arrogant. The hundreds of ghost-faced devil spiders may be scary to others, but he can take care of them all with one move of sandstorm burial, so there is no pressure. Moreover, being able to hunt hundreds of ghost-faced demon spiders, how much wealth is this for him? He is simply overjoyed, right? Lin Yong suddenly felt that senior brother Wang Zuin was his god of wealth. He had just brought him the first pot of gold, and now he was given a big project worth 5 to 6 million. This senior brother was such a good person. Next to her, Luo Saidong covered her mouth and snickered. How could she not know what Lin Yong was thinking? He was obviously going there to kill ferocious beasts and make money. She suddenly felt so magical. In her eyes, Lin Yong could be said to be a perfect boy. He was handsome, with a good figure, outstanding talent, strong strength, and sometimes looked like a sassy. However, Lin Yong also has some very special things. For example, he is very filthy and rude when he attacks others, and he is very cruel when fighting. Moreover, his desire to make money seems to be exaggerated. How can I put it? It's very interesting. 100 ghost-faced devil spiders are nothing. Wang Zuin took a breath. He was shocked by Lin Yong again. Previously, Lin Yang's effortless killing of 12 giant-toothed wolves really shocked him, but he didn't say it was particularly exaggerated. After all, if you have a 3rd or 4th level of strength and combine it with an S-level fire talent, you can do it. But now, the ghost-faced demon spider is a 2-star beast, stronger than the 3 giant-toothed wolves. Now hundreds of ghost-faced demon spiders are not looked down upon. How terrifying is this strength? Wang Zuin, you are so awesome. You were chased by dozens of giant-toothed wolves and you didn't even do anything. You're such a tough guy. When the 4 teammates saw Wang Zuin coming back, they all looked like they wanted to laugh, but had to hold back their laughter. TCH, I'm not just tough in life, I'm tough everywhere. Wang Zuin curled his lips. In fact, he was a little resentful. When those giant-toothed wolves were chasing him, 4 teammates actually hid together. It was so unloyal. But he also knew not to blame his teammates. In the final analysis, he was just too much of a cheat at that time. Because he was seeking death, he was chased by so many giant-toothed wolves, and his teammates had no choice or strength to run out to save him. These two are. The 4 teammates looked at Lin Yong and Luo Saidong with curious expressions. These are the juniors and juniors from our school. They were the ones who rescued me. Wang Zuin introduced. This handsome junior fellow student is Lin Yong. As for this beautiful junior sister, you must have seen it, right? She is the daughter of our dean, junior sister Saidong. The dean's daughter. She is the junior sister Saidong, who is known as the Lolos tribe's once-in-a-century genius, right? No wonder she looked so familiar to me just now. It turns out to be junior sister Saidong. I met her before at my school's anniversary celebration. The 4 teammates' attention was focused on Luo Saidong. They were all stunned, thinking that Luo Saidong could rescue Wang Zuan from so many giant-toothed wolves. Isn't this too strong? He is truly worthy of being called a once-in-a-century super genius. Junior brother Lin Yang, did you see it? That's the building where hundreds of ghost-faced demon spiders are entrenched. Now we have to continue looking for the blue-eyed glass snake, so we can't take you there. Let's say goodbye here. Okay, senior brother Wang, please pay attention to your safety. Lin Yang and Luo Saidong waved their hands, and after they separated from Wang Zuan and others, they came to the abandoned building that Wang Zuan pointed to. The predecessor of this building should be a commercial plaza, and the lobby on the first floor is very wide. However, as soon as I walked in, a scalp-numbing scene appeared. I saw that the hall on the first floor was covered with dense spider silk, as well as huge spiders that could not be counted with the naked eye. A conservative estimate is that there are at least hundreds of them. Their size is comparable to a tank, with a height of nearly 3 meters and a body length of 7 or 8 meters. It is several times larger than the previous one-star ferocious beasts, the red-eyed rat and the giant-toothed wolf. In addition, because they are spider-like ferocious beasts, their expressions are also more ferocious. The eyes, which are as densely packed as mulberries and glowing red, and the fangs that are constantly leaking venom, make people feel frightened just by looking at them. Also, at the joints of each of their giant limbs, there is a mask that looks like a ghost face. It is not known whether the mask is crying or laughing. It looks eerie and weird. In short, this ghost-faced demon spider is disgusting and scary no matter how you look at it. Lin Yang, this place is so scary. The visual impact of this scene was so great that even Luo Saidong couldn't help but get goosebumps. At the same time, she was also a little worried. She knew that Lin Yang was very strong, even strong enough to easily defeat a third-level awakener, and he could easily kill even a 2-star beast. But the problem is that there are too many ghost-faced spiders in this building. At first glance, there are at least hundreds of them. 2-star ferocious beasts were originally 3 or 4 times more powerful than 1-star ferocious beasts, but now their numbers are exaggerated. Can Lin Yang really be able to deal with them? It's okay. If you're scared, just hide behind me. Lin Yang also felt that the amount of these ghost-faced spiders was too scary. Well, their appearance was too scary, but he didn't have any fear in his heart. After all, he has too many powerful skills. Not to mention anything else, just 3,000 thunderbolts could guarantee that he and Luo Saidong would not be harmed in any way. So, are you scared? Those ghost-faced demon spiders also discovered Lin Yang and Luo Saidong. The closer ones had already crawled over. They sprayed huge spider webs directly towards Lin Yang, intending to trap Lin Yang and Luo Saidong. A mere 2-star ferocious beast dares to be so presumptuous in front of me. Lin Yang sneered, raised his right hand, and blasted out a huge fireball. The huge fireball instantly burned the spider webs to ashes, and also hit 2 of the ghost-faced demon spiders firmly. Bake. The 2 ghost-faced demon spiders burned up all of a sudden, and they screamed in pain. Other ghost-faced spiders crawled over from all directions as if they were facing a formidable enemy. However, Lin Yang was not afraid at all. In his eyes, the ghost-faced spiders crawling over were all 50,000 yuan bills with legs. A huge fireball, a huge fireball. Ah da 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 da. Lin Yang used the prince's tactics, pushing his hands flat like afterimages, and blasted huge fireballs one after another. Lin Yang knew that the weakness of spider beasts such as the ghost-faced demon spider was their fear of fire, so fire-based attacks were definitely the most effective. Of course, even if we take a step back, there are too many of these ghost-faced spiders and the fireballs cannot kill them all. He still has the ultimate move of sandstorm burial. Facts have proved that Lin Yang's method is right. The weakness of the ghost-faced demon spider is that it is afraid of fire, so his fireball offensive is not very effective. Not only can those ghost-faced demon spiders be burned to death instantly, but the huge fireball can also burn everything around it. In a short time, the lobby on the first floor, and even the high floors such as the second and third floors were on fire, and the entire building became a sea of flames. Chi chi chi. In this sea of fire, those ghost-faced demon spiders suffered disaster. They didn't even have a place to hide, and they were burned until they screamed. In just the blink of an eye, Lin Yang had already eliminated 20 or 30 ghost-faced demon spiders. Ha 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 ha. Lin Yang's appearance of getting more and more excited as he fought gave people the impression of a madman running into a shopping mall and setting fire. But this can't be blamed on Lin Yang. When he looked at the fallen ghost-faced spiders, he felt like he was exploding gold coins in a game. The first blow was 50,000 Sha national coins. For him who was impoverished, he really couldn't help but be excited. 500,000, 550,000, 600,000. Ha ha ha, I'm going to post it this time. On the contrary, those ghost-faced demon spiders were about to cry when they looked at Lin Yang, whose smile became more and more changing. Where is the madness running in here? Just start a fight. What are you doing by setting fire to the house? And can you stop changing your attitude when looking at us? Mom, I'm afraid. Under Lin Yang's crazy arson, the entire building burned down. Those who didn't know might think there was a fire inside. 10 minutes later, Lin Yang and Luo Saidong came out. It was already burning inside. It was so hot that both of them couldn't bear it. Moreover, almost all the ghost-faced demon spiders inside had been eliminated by Lin Yang, and there was no need to stay any longer. Lin Yang took out the Brave card. The data on the Brave card has been updated. Name: Lin Yang. Gender: male. Age: 18. Occupation: student, school, God's Training Academy. Grade: pre-freshman. Level: Bronze LV5. Number of ferocious beasts killed: 152. 1-star ferocious beast, the giant-toothed wolf, 12. 2-star ferocious beast, the ghost-faced demon spider, 140. Account amount: 7,120,000. Lin Yang's eyes lit up when he saw the amount in the account amount. In this wave, he directly made 7 million, and his training resources for the next 2 months were secured. Lin Yang, look above, this building seems to be collapsing. Luo Saidong raised her head. She saw that the glass walls above were exploding with a loud bang, and she said quickly, "Well, it seems like it's really going to collapse." Several black lines appeared on Lin Yang's head. He seemed to have been too excited just now, and he kept releasing fireballs, which burned the entire building. He suddenly felt as if he had become an arsonist. In fact, the flames released by the fire talent are much more powerful than ordinary flames, so it is normal for the entire building to burn down in 10 minutes. However, Lin Yang was not under any psychological pressure. After all, this building had been abandoned. He killed 140 ghost-faced spiders in one go, and it was not a good deal to lose an abandoned building. Cock-a-rumble. There were constant sounds of collapse from above, and it was obvious that the building was about to collapse. Lin Yang, this place is going to collapse. Let's get out of here quickly. Luo Saidong said. Lin Yang nodded, and then left here with Luo Saidong. When the two of them walked to a place 500 or 600 meters away, a loud noise suddenly came from there. The two turned around and found that the building had completely collapsed and turned into a ruin. Luo Saidong said with a thankful expression, "Fortunately we left early, otherwise the building would collapse and we might be implicated." "Now, where are we going?" Lin Yang asked. "Do you know which area has more ferocious beasts?" No one thinks that money is bad, and Lin Yang is no exception. He even gets a little bit excited about making money and wants to continue. Luo Saidong pouted, her expression a bit resentful, like an angry little daughter-in-law. "Lin Yang, just now you only cared about yourself and didn't care about me." Forehead. Lin Yang was a little embarrassed. He naturally knew what Luo Saidong was talking about. Previously, whether it was the wave of giant-toothed wolves or the wave of ghost-faced demon spiders just now, he only focused on killing monsters by himself and did not even let Luo Saidong appear once. Originally, he and Luo Saidong came to the enemy-occupied area to practice together, but in the end, he only focused on playing by himself. No wonder Luo Saidong was a little unhappy. "Let's do this. If we encounter a ferocious beast later, if there is a suitable one, I will give it to you." Lin Yang also knew that he had to take his partner's feelings into consideration, so he smiled and said, "According to what you just said, I can't just let me feel good, I also want you to feel good, and we both can feel good together." Luo Saidong forced a smile, and she was about to nod and say something. But the next second, she suddenly realized that something was wrong with what Lin Yang said. When she reacted, her face suddenly turned red. This Lin Yang, what on earth is he talking about? He wants me to enjoy everything, why two people enjoy it together? No, it seemed like I was the one taking the lead just now. Ah, how shameful. Luo Sidong covered her face. She didn't dare to look directly at Lin Yang, and in the end she could only run away quickly. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Lin Yang was a little strange. Aren't you happy that I let you have fun together? Gee, is this little girl so difficult to take care of? More than 10 minutes after the two left, a person came to the ruins. The ruins were still smoking. The man took a closer look and found that there were many corpses of ghost-faced demon spiders around the ruins. Ghost-faced spider? Why are there so many ghost-faced spider corpses here? The man was stunned for a moment, and then his expression became a little uneasy. These ghost-faced spiders seemed to have been burned to death. So, they were killed by the fire awakeners. The words of the fire awakeners, could that be the murderer of Jones and Green? It was obvious that this man was a member of the team from the Tianpu organization. He came here to find the murderer on the orders of Captain Mu Tai. Now a ghost-faced demon spider was killed by a fire-type awakener, and this place was not very far from the place where the incident occurred. He felt that there was at least a 60 to 70 chance that the murderer had been here. The man immediately took out the contact device. Boss, it's me. I found traces of the fire awakener here. That person is most likely the murderer who killed Jones and Green. Come here quickly. Extinction ray. Call out. Puff. A golden ray shot out and instantly penetrated the head of a giant-toothed wolf. The giant-toothed wolf's eyes turned white, and he fell to the ground and turned into a dead corpse. Oh, it actually penetrated the head directly. This power is pretty good. Lin Yang, who was watching the battle from the sidelines, showed a surprised expression. This was the first time he saw Luo Sidong take action. To be honest, he was a little shocked. The attack method of Luo Sidong's divine talent is light shooting, which is somewhat similar to the light skill of the light system, but it is many times more powerful than ordinary light attacks. According to Lin Yang's observation, with Luo Sidong's current second-level intermediate strength, even a 2-star beast like the ghost-faced demon spider can be killed with one hit by her light attack. In terms of damage alone, it is probably higher than his palm thunder and fireball. Lin Yang secretly nodded. The God system is indeed the strongest Super S-level talent. This lethality is truly transformative. Thinking of this, he suddenly looked forward to the God's flame that could only be used after the Sun God reached the second stage. It must be very powerful. Puff. While Lin Yang was distracted, Luo Sidong used light attacks again to kill 2 giant-toothed wolves. In this way, Luo Sidong had taken care of all 3 giant-toothed wolves that the two of them had finally encountered. Lin Yang was a little melancholy. He felt that walking around like this and encountering vicious beasts and killing them was too inefficient. He suddenly missed Wang Zuan a little, and he wished that the good senior brother could bring him another wave of monsters. In that case, both he and Luo Sidong would have a great time killing. Next to her, after killing 3 giant-toothed wolves, Luo Sidong seemed to be in a much better mood. She smiled and turned away. Lin Yang, why don't we try that? That? Which one? Lin Yang didn't understand a bit. That's the one that requires your cooperation with me to complete it. Luo Sidong explained. Currently, my strongest killing move is the annihilation of the gods. Lin Yang remembered that the Dean and Luo Sidong had told him before that because Luo Sidong's current divine attributes were insufficient, another divine awakener needed to inject divine energy into her body in order to use the ultimate killing move. But there are no ferocious beasts around anymore, how can we try? Lin Yang was a little stunned. It's okay, it's just a trial move. Just face those big rocks over there. Luo Sidong pointed to the pile of rocks not far ahead. Lin Yang nodded. Then how can I cooperate with you? It's very simple. Just put your palms on my back and inject energy into me. Good. Lin Yang also wanted to see how powerful Luo Sidong's most powerful killing move, God's Extinction, was. After he finished speaking, he walked behind Luo Sidong and pressed his palm on the girl's back. That's it, you start injecting energy into me now. Luo Sidong was about to explain, but she seemed to find something wrong. Her face suddenly turned red. Ah, Lin Yang, don't do it there, it will be opened. Ah, sorry, it's too convenient. Lin Yong regained his composure and began to inject energy into Luo Saidong. That's it, slowly transfer the energy and maintain this rhythm. Luo Saidong closed her eyes, and her whole body began to glow. Her raised palms were like electromagnetic cannons, with dazzling holy golden light constantly condensing. At the same time, there was a strong wind in the entire space, and some small stones floated on the ground. The battle is very exaggerated. Oh, Lin Yong was a little surprised. Just by concentrating, the scene was already so exaggerated. If this was used, I'm afraid even a building could be blown down. However, things went against expectations. Luo Saidong only condensed for 5 or 6 seconds before she could no longer condense and she had to stop. It doesn't seem to work yet. Luo Saidong shook his head. It was a pity that the divine energy that Lin Yong could provide her at present seemed not enough. This made her a little confused. She felt that Lin Yong could easily defeat Luo Meng and kill hundreds of ghost-faced spiders. His strength should have reached the 4th or even 5th level. Why did he not provide her with enough energy? Not enough. Could it be that the amount of divine energy she needs to absorb to kill her is too huge? In fact, Luo Saidong was wrong. Lin Yang's current strength is at the quasi-1st level, and she doesn't have much God-type energy in her body. Naturally, it cannot support the energy she needs to use her strongest killing move. Unless Lin Yong can reach the same level as her, that is, the 2nd level intermediate level, he can provide a sufficient amount. Isn't it okay? Lin Yong scratched his head. He was a little strange and was about to ask Luo Saidong if any step went wrong. Rumble. But at this moment, an earthquake occurred nearby, and the ground in the entire surrounding area seemed to shake. What's wrong? Lin Yong and Luo Saidong were both a little surprised. The two raised their heads and found many awakened people running towards them in the distance. Among them, the awakened person who ran at the front saw Lin Yong and Luo Saidong not far ahead, and he shouted with horror on his face. Danger! Run! Get out of here! What? Neither Lin Yong nor Luo Saidong heard clearly. There were about 40 or 50 people in front of them. They seemed to be avoiding something very scary, and they ran towards Lin Yong and the two in a panic. Lin Yong, something seems to have happened over there. Luo Saidong saw it, and she turned her face and looked at Lin Yong. Lin Yong nodded and was about to say something, but at this time, the middle-aged man who was running at the front shouted to the two of them again, "Didn't you hear what I said? Run, get out of here." Quote. Finally, the middle-aged man ran up to Lin Yong and Luo Saidong. He seemed to be very warm-hearted. After stopping, he panted and said to the two of them, "Quickly. Get out of here quickly, there is someone coming from behind. There are so many ferocious beasts, you will die if you stay here any longer. A large number of ferocious beasts are coming." Luo Saidong's pretty face was startled. Lin Yang's eyes lit up. A large number of ferocious beasts. Yes, I don't know which fool it was, but he stabbed someone's ferocious beast's lair, and a lot of ferocious beasts came out. That scale is even comparable to a small beast tide. The middle-aged man explained the situation. Lin Yang's eyes brightened even more, and even the corners of his mouth couldn't help but raise. Could it be comparable to a small-scale beast tide? At this time, other people from behind also ran over, but they were not as enthusiastic as the middle-aged men. They ran past Lin Yong and Luo Saidong without even looking at them. "Captain, what are you still doing here? Run quickly, or it will be too late." Several younger awakened people were a little surprised when they saw the middle-aged man, and they quickly ran over and said. Obviously, these 3 men and 1 woman are partners with the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man is the captain of their team, Hong Li, who is a relatively warm-hearted person. They knew that the captain must have gone bad. He encountered 2 unsuspecting young awakened people and wanted to tell them that they were in danger and asked them to leave quickly. "Yes, Captain, we just need to inform you, don't stay any longer. Otherwise, when those ferocious beasts over there arrive, we will be doomed." "Ah, Captain, they are coming soon." The team members saw the dust billowing not far away getting closer and closer, and their expressions became even more panicked. "Lin Yong, there seem to be many ferocious beasts running over there. They seem to be 2-star ferocious beasts, blue-eyed glazed snakes." Luo Saidong also saw a dense group of snake-like ferocious beasts rushing over 1 kilometer away. She recognized the blue eyes and scales as bright as glass at a glance. Blue-eyed glazed snake, isn't that the kind of ferocious beast that senior brother Wang is looking for? Lin Yang remembered. My god, the number of those blue-eyed glazed snakes is so exaggerated, I'm afraid there are hundreds of them. Luo Sidong became a little uneasy. Lin Yang, let's leave here quickly. Otherwise, it will be dangerous when they come here. After speaking, Luo Sidong grabbed Lin Yang's arm and wanted to run away, but found that Lin Yang didn't move. Lin Yang, Luo Sidong was a little strange. She turned around and saw a strange scene. Next to Lin Yang, the corners of his mouth were rising crazily. And the two eyes also turned into the shape of. It seemed that Lin Yang was excited. Luo Sidong. There's no need to leave. Since those ferocious beasts are coming to die, just destroy them. Lin Yang spread his hands. Next to them, Hong Li and the other four were just about to leave. They were all dumbfounded when they heard what Lin Yang said. I heard you right, little brother, you mean, you want to deal with those ferocious beasts? Hong Li clicked his tongue a little, wondering if there was something wrong with his ears. Yes, Lin Yang nodded, with a serious look on his face. It is our duty as awakened beings to kill ferocious beasts, so I am naturally bound to do so. No, are you crazy? Haven't you seen how exaggerated the number of those ferocious beasts is? A conservative estimate is that there are at least 700 or 800, maybe even thousands. You are just one person, how can you deal with them? Boy, do you know what's going on right now? With such a huge group of ferocious beasts, even a 4th level expert may not be able to handle it. If you go up there, you'll just die. The team members around Hong Li frowned, thinking that there was something wrong with Lin Yang's brain. Lin Yang ignored the two of them. The nearly 1,000 second level ferocious beasts were indeed scary to others, but they couldn't scare him. After all, he has Gaara's super move, Sandstorm Burial. Not to mention nearly 1,000 blue-eyed glazed snakes, even if there were thousands of them, he was sure to kill them with one strike. Lin Yang, are you really sure? Luo Sidong thought for a while, and finally she chose to believe Lin Yang. After all, she knew that Lin Yang was not the kind of person who did things without measure. Since Lin Yang could say this, it meant that Lin Yang should be confident. Of course, there are worries. After all, the number is too huge. Moreover, blue-eyed glazed snakes are much stronger than ordinary 2-star evil beasts like the ghost-faced demon spider, especially because the glazed scales on their bodies are very hard, and even the ordinary attacks of 3rd-level awakened ones may not be able to cause much damage. Lin Yang smiled and said nothing. He squatted down and pressed his palms on the soil. Sandstorm Burial has a special activation condition, which is that there must be a large area of mud or sand around it. Otherwise, the environment is not suitable and the activation conditions cannot be met. Rumble. As Lin Yang began to launch a sandstorm, the surrounding ground shook more violently, even comparable to a magnitude 5 or 6 earthquake. Am I hallucinating? Why does it feel like an earthquake? Hong Li and others were a little confused. Luo Sidong also felt it. She was a little stunned and wondered if it was Lin Yang's reason. At this time, Luo Sidong saw several familiar figures. Aren't those junior brother Lin Yang and junior sister Sidong? It's really them. Hey, junior brother Lin Yang, junior sister Sidong, stop standing here, run away. Luo Sidong recognized them. They were the senior brothers and sisters who had previously teamed up with Wang Zuin to come to the occupied area. Junior brother and sister, get out of here quickly. That fat guy Wang Zuin has stabbed Lu Zi again. He has stabbed the blue-eyed glass snake's lair. If you don't run away, you will be finished. A senior brother shouted. This. Luo Sidong was a little stunned. She didn't expect that this exaggerated scene, which was comparable to a small beast tide, was actually caused by the fat little senior brother she had just met. Luo Sidong looked over and saw a fat figure behind those senior brothers and sisters. Don't chase me, don't chase me. I didn't step on your balls on purpose. You suddenly appeared and scared me, so I accidentally stepped on them. This really happened to me. That's all right. Wang Zuin burst into tears, waving his 2 short legs with all his strength and shouting while running. The scene looked quite funny. However, he looked a little miserable, his face turned pale, and he didn't know whether he was frightened, or whether his physical strength was at the bottom due to being chased for 9 streets. Wang Zuin was also about to collapse. He felt that he was so unlucky. A few minutes ago, he and his partner were looking for the blue-eyed glass snake. At that time, he entered an abandoned subway station and planned to try his luck. Unexpectedly, there was actually the nest of the blue-eyed glass snake below. Since Wang Zuan had committed suicide before to poke out a basket, this time Wang Zuan did not act like a monster again. Even when he saw so many blue-eyed glass snake eggs, he did not say that he would secretly take one away. However, when he was about to return, he was frightened by a young blue-eyed glass snake that jumped out, causing him to accidentally step on an egg. The movement at that time directly alerted the blue-eyed glass snake in the nest. When Wang Zuan saw a blue-eyed glass snake rushing out, he panicked and ran away, but the environment there was too dark, and he was so panicked that he stepped on dozens of snake eggs and exploded them. Almost all descendants of this family were wiped out. You can imagine how angry the blue-eyed glass snake was. And it is so good that it is immortal. The blue-eyed glass snake in the subway station is the snake queen of the tribe. Then, the blue-eyed glass snake queen roared, and the entire tribe ran out to chase Wang Zuan. Wang Zuan was about to cry at that time, he was so wrong. Why don't you come out and scare me? Can I step on your balls? And I've already apologized, but I'm still chasing after you. Isn't this bullying an honest person? Wang Zuan was running when he suddenly saw Lin Yang not far ahead, and his face suddenly became overjoyed. Junior brother Lin Yang, savior. Ah, junior brother Lin Yang, senior brother, I am being chased by a ferocious beast again. Please save me again. Wang Zuan waved and shouted towards Lin Yang in a grandiose manner. The four teammates with Wang Zuan all heard it and were stunned. Did you hear what Wang Zuan said just now? It turns out that the one who saved Wang Zuan earlier was not junior sister Saidong, but junior brother Lin Yang. The four of them looked at Lin Yang in disbelief. Previously, they thought it was Luo Saidong who killed those giant-toothed wolves, but they were mistaken. Lin Yang ignored the four of them. He had already found the best time to take action, and his eyes suddenly focused. Sandstorm burial. Boom. At that moment, a surging sand rose into the sky like a huge wave, with a height of 50 or 60 meters. Seeing this scene, the eyes of Wang Zuan's four teammates suddenly widened. Oh my god, is this done by junior brother Lin Yang? This is too terrifying. Wang Zuan's four teammates looked at the monstrous sand in midair that seemed to cover up the sky and the sun, and were so shocked that their mouths turned into an O shape. Only now did they realize that they had underestimated Lin Yang from the beginning. It turns out that the most powerful person is not the daughter of their dean, but this young junior brother who has not yet met him. Before Hong Li and others left, they also saw the huge amount of sand that Lin Yang had made. At that moment, they were shocked and stunned. Hong Li swallowed, his face full of surprise. I really didn't expect that little brother to have such a powerful power. As for the other members of Hong Li's hunter team, they were equally shocked. Let me go, is this too strong? If he can have this level of ability to control sand, then his strength must have reached at least level 5. 5th level, doesn't that mean that what he said earlier that he could deal with hundreds of blue-eyed glass snakes by himself is true? It's over, we seem to have offended a 5th level powerhouse. At the same time, they also felt a little embarrassed because they thought Lin Yang was rude and arrogant. Originally they thought there was something wrong with Lin Yang's brain, but now, they discovered that the clown was themselves. It's so embarrassing. Oh my god, Lin Yang actually has this skill. Even Luo Saidong, who was following Lin Yang and was frightened, was a little shocked. This power to control sand and soil is an earth element ability. Luo Saidong looked at Lin Yang. The curiosity in his beautiful eyes became more intense. This Lin Yang, how many trump cards does he have that I don't know about? How strong is he? Also seen was a large group of blue-eyed glass snakes not far ahead. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. The blue-eyed glazed snake is a 2-star evil beast and naturally possesses a certain amount of intelligence. So naturally, when they saw the monstrous sand and dust caused by Lin Yang, their eyes became a little frightened. As ferocious beasts, they have always been enemies of awakened humans. How could they not know that the huge amount of sand was created by awakened humans? They even knew very well that Lin Yang's move was used to deal with them. At this time, the blue-eyed glass snake rushing at the front let out a huge roar. As if the other blue-eyed glass snakes had received some instructions, they not only stopped chasing Wang Zuan, but also turned around and ran away. They are not stupid. The sand created by Lin Yang can almost cover the sky and the sun, and its power must be very terrifying. It is definitely not something that these two-star ferocious beasts can resist. Lin Yang saw it and sneered, "Escape. Can you escape? Good guy, brother." Wang Zuan finally attracted a large number of vicious beasts to him and created wealth for him. How could he let them go? Lin Yang's eyes were slightly focused. Under his control, the 60-meter-high monstrous sand was like a moving tsunami wave, sweeping towards the large group of blue-eyed glass snakes. Junior brother Lin Yang is so strong, he's so changeable. Wang Zuan's jaw dropped in shock. He knew that Lin Yang was very strong, but he never expected that Lin Yang was so strong. The next second, he found that the monstrous sand was sweeping towards him, and he was so frightened that he burst into tears again. Ah, junior brother, I'm still here. Don't do anything yet, don't do anything yet. Wang Zuan shouted while running to other directions with exaggerated expressions and movements. Phew, Luo Saidong was amused. She felt that Wang Zuan was really fierce when he was running. Those short legs could actually run so fast. The four teammates covered their eyes one after another. They felt that they were embarrassed in front of their junior brothers and sisters this time. Not far away, the monstrous sand and soil had already caught up. Seeing that the time was almost up, Lin Yang pressed down his palms fiercely. Boom! At that moment, just like a tsunami swallowing up everything, the 60-meter-high monstrous sand swept down, drowning all the blue-eyed glass snakes below. Success! Luo Saidong's pretty face was happy. Great, now we have buried all those blue-eyed glass snakes. Wang Zuan's four teammates, as well as Hong Li and others, were also excited. Buried. Lin Yang raised the corners of his mouth slightly. You are only half right. The ultimate goal of sandstorm burial is not to bury it, but to kill it and completely crush it. Lin Yang pressed his hands on the ground, and his eyes suddenly focused. Sandstorm burial. Boom, boom, boom. At that moment, the area buried by the sand seemed to have been exerted thousands of times of pressure, and the entire terrain began to compress. Puff, 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 puff. The bodies of those blue-eyed glass snakes buried under the sand were crushed and turned into blurry balls of flesh and blood. Hiss. A female member of Hong Li's team seemed to sense something. She took a deep breath and was so shocked that her eyes were a bit dumbfounded. What's wrong? Hong Li noticed something was wrong with the team members and asked quickly. It's amazing, Captain, that boy, no, that little brother, with that move he just made, he actually killed all the hundreds of blue-eyed glass snakes buried underground. The female team member said with shock on her face. She is an auxiliary field awakener. Within a specific range, she can roughly perceive the signs of life around her through her talent. Just now, Lin Yang used the final secret of sandstorm burial to kill all those blue-eyed glazed snakes, and she could sense it. What? Killed? Hong Li was slightly startled. He was a little confused. But didn't the sand just bury those blue-eyed glass snakes? It shouldn't kill them so quickly, right? No, Captain, that little brother is not just buried in the sand. The female team member shook her head. I could clearly feel just now that the little brother exerted 1,000 times of pressure in the sand, causing all the blue-eyed glass snakes below to burst. They were all killed almost at the same instant. Quote. Hiss. Hong Li and several team members around him took a deep breath. They originally thought that Lin Yang just controlled the sand and buried the large group of blue-eyed glass snakes to get them out of the crisis. They didn't expect that Lin Yang's move could actually kill those blue-eyed glass snakes by exerting sand pressure. They had never seen or heard of the use of this Earth-type move. That means that this little brother only used one move to kill hundreds of blue-eyed glass snakes in less than a minute. This is special, it's so awesome. Hong Li swallowed, and the way he looked at Lin Yang changed again. From the original curiosity, to the surprise just now, to now, I have been shocked to the point of being stunned. Chapter 31. Destroy them all with one move. The senior brothers and sisters, as well as the members of Hong Li's team, were all shocked and dumbfounded. Those awakened people who escaped also noticed it, and they were also quite shocked. Holy shit, did you see that? Someone just took action and killed all those blue-eyed glass snakes. Which big brother did it? His ability to control sand just now was too strong, wasn't it? I am also an awakened earth element, and I want to become his teacher. It seems that the little brother in white over there did it. Ah, he did it. Doesn't it seem like it? How old is he? He can't be so powerful, right? There are hundreds of blue-eyed glass snakes. Do you think there is a possibility that that person just looks young, but in fact he is an old monster who is so powerful that he can rejuvenate himself? Lin Yong ignored the discussion of the awakened people around him. He stood up, patted the sand on his palms, and then took out the brave card from his body. The exciting time has arrived again. Lin Yong is looking forward to it. How much money has Wang Zuan made for him? Name: Lin Yong. Gender: male. Age: 18. Occupation: student, school, God's Training Academy. Grade: pre-freshman. Level: Gold LV2. Number of beasts killed: 1057. 1-star beast, giant tooth wolf, 12. 2-star beast, ghost-faced spider, 140. 2-star beast, blue-eyed glazed snake, 905. Account amount: 52,370,000. When Lin Yong saw the amount on the Brave card account, he was so excited that he almost burst into tears. Wang Zuan brought more than 900 blue-eyed glazed snakes to him in this wave. After killing them all, he earned more than 45 million Sha national coins. The balance in his account now exceeds 50 million. Lin Yong suddenly sighed. In his previous life, there were always people around him who said they could make a small target in a year. He couldn't help but complain, how can money be so easy to make? But now, in less than a day, no, less than 2 hours, he has already earned half of his small goal. The feeling of this wallet being filled with water like crazy is simply too pleasant. Finally, I no longer have to worry about living, well, training resources. Junior brother Lin Yong, you saved senior brother my life again. Senior brother, thank you so much. Just when Lin Yang's face was filled with happiness, a chubby figure rushed over. Wang Zuan burst into tears, with an exaggerated expression of being extremely moved. He rushed up and hugged Lin Yong. Junior brother Lin Yong, you are so kind. You are my reborn parents. Wang Zuan's teammates next to him all showed expressions of disdain. How could this senior fellow burst into tears in front of his junior fellow apprentices? How unbecoming was he? It's so embarrassing. They secretly swore in their hearts that they would never team up with Wang Zuan to do commission tasks in the future. From the first glance, it was obvious that Wang Zuan was a black hole, a walking black hole that could cause trouble for them wherever he went. Secondly, they are not serious at all, and the senior brother does not look like a senior brother, which makes them very embarrassed. Well, senior brother Wang, what you said is a bit exaggerated, I'm just going with it. In fact, Lin Yong felt that he should be the one to say thank you. After all, the more than 50 million Sha national coins Lin Yong earned today were all created for him by Wang Zuan. Either she was brought to him, or she was directed to him. She is simply his living god of wealth, right? He is approachable and can help you make a lot of money. Such a good brother. What kind of bicycle do you need? Who wants to say that Wang Zuan is a black hole or a trap? He should be the first one not to agree. Oh, by the way, junior brother, senior brother has an unkind request, I don't know whether to say it or not. Wang Zuan let go of Lin Yong and laughed dryly. What? Lin Yong asked. Well, that's it. Junior brothers and sisters, you also know that we are here to do entrusted tasks, right? Wang Zuan rubbed the back of his head and smiled a little awkwardly. Our mission is to obtain 1 kilogram of blue-eyed glass snake's glass scales, but our strength is limited, and we haven't killed a blue-eyed glass snake for a long time, so this mission we're not done yet. No, junior brother Lin Yong just killed so many blue-eyed glazed snakes, there should be many corpses of blue-eyed glazed snakes buried underneath. I wonder if I can invite you, junior brother. As a senior brother, Wang Zuan was a little embarrassed to ask for help after he was saved by his junior brother. Next to him, his teammates were stunned for a moment before they remembered this. One of the girls asked with a slight tone of voice, Junior brother, just help me, brother and sister, can you? The other 3 boys couldn't help but roll their eyes. You usually talk to us so roughly, like a manly woman, and you talk to handsome guys and junior fellow students. Can you be more pretentious? And can you treat us equally and clamp down on us? It's just a small matter. Lin Yong did not refuse. He nodded and manipulated the sand to get out the two blue-eyed glass snake corpses below. Wang Zuin helped him make so much money, so he must help with this small favor. Lin Yong took out the bodies of the two blue-eyed glass snakes. Wang Zuin and others quickly took out tools and shovels and scraped off some of the blue-eyed glass snake's glass scales. The scales of the blue-eyed glass snake have many uses, and their main use is in making protective gear. If some awakened organization or family forces have needs and issue entrusted tasks, the recycling price will be quite high. This little brother, I really didn't expect that you would be so powerful at such a young age. We really admire you. Hong Li and others walked up. This is a world where the strong are respected, and everyone respects the strong. Naturally, they were the same, especially since Lin Yong was so young, but his strength was so unpredictable, they admired him even more. Little brother, this is Hong Li. Our team is called Liyang Team. I wonder what we call it, little brother. Hong Li wanted to get acquainted with a strong young man like Lin Yong. The other team members were a little embarrassed. They apologized to Lin Yong for being a little rude to Lin Yong earlier. Lin Yong naturally didn't mind much. A strong man must behave like a strong man, not to mention that the members of the Liyang team didn't have any ill intentions. He got to know Hong Li and others one by one, and exchanged contact information with Hong Li. Oh my god, little brother Lin Yong, you are just a freshman who has not yet gone to college. Isn't this too unbelievable? Hong Li was a little dumbfounded. With this kind of strength after graduating from high school, I'm afraid little brother Lin Yong is stronger than Xiao Yu Chen, the #1 high school student in Xia country, right? Be more confident and remove the word I'm afraid. The members of Liyang team were once again shocked by Lin Yong. Hong Li and others still had missions, so they left quickly. At this time, Wang Zuin and others had returned from collecting the glazed scales. They also hurried back to complete the commission task, thanked Lin Yong and left. Lin Yong, it's almost 11:30, how about we go meet my cousin and the others? Luo Sidong looked at Lin Yong. They had made an appointment with Luo Tianming and others to meet up at 12 o'clock at noon, and they would leave here at 12 o'clock. There's still more than half an hour. Lin Yong smiled. Are you happy enough? If not, do you want to kill some more ferocious beasts? There's no need to look for it again. Let's go back along the previous path. We should encounter some ferocious beasts. Then you can just let me go. Luo Sidong suggested. Also, Lin Yong didn't hesitate. After speaking, he and Luo Sidong returned the same way. The two were talking and laughing. As soon as they walked out of this area, Lin Yong suddenly heard a sound breaking through the air. Lin Yong didn't even think about it. He raised his palm and struck it with a thunderbolt. It was a boulder the size of a basketball, and it shot towards the two of them at a very fast speed. After receiving a thunderbolt from Lin Yang's palm, it exploded on the spot and turned into countless gravel. Lin Yong put down his hand, and his face became a little gloomy. He hates this despicable behavior of hiding aside and carrying out sneak attacks. Mad, he actually noticed it. A man with a short hair slapped his thigh with his fist, his expression a bit unhappy. It was obvious that this was the guy who used his mind to control the stone to attack Lin Yong just now. Are you stupid? That kid can kill Jones and Green, and his strength has reached at least the 3rd level. You are only an intermediate 2nd level, so it's hard to hit the target with this sneak attack. The partner next to him complained. TCH, I can at least launch a long-range sneak attack. What can you do? You can't do anything, and you're still arguing with me here. The short-haired man looked unhappy and said that the two of them were about to quarrel. Okay, shut up. Suddenly, an impatient shout sounded, and the two of them were frightened, and they immediately did not dare to beep anymore. The guy who killed Jones and Green was the guy in white over there, right? Mu Tai walked up and his cold eyes fell on Lin Yong over there. Captain, can't you still trust me? The short-haired man pursed his lips. Although my second talent, energy tracking, is a bit useless, when it comes to finding clues, no one can match me. Whether it is the energy remaining on Jones and Green before, or the energy remaining around the ruins, it all points to that kid. This clearly shows that that kid is the murderer of Jones and Green. The short-haired man seemed a little proud. Furthermore, after my test just now, I also found out that the boy has the talent of thunder. This is an unexpected gain. It means that he is a dual-element awakener with fire and thunder elements. Double S level talent awakener. No wonder he can kill Jones and Green. Mu Tai narrowed his eyes. In fact, when the short-haired man pointed at Lin Yang and said that Lin Yang was the murderer, he was quite shocked. After all, Lin Yang is too young and should not be that strong. But if it is double S level talent, then it is a different story. It clearly shows that Lin Yang is a genius among geniuses. It is not unusual to have a third level or above strength under the age of 20. Mu Tai walked out with a cold face. The short-haired man and the other four followed suit. Lin Yang frowned and looked at Mu Tai, who was walking at the front. It was you who carried out the sneak attack just now, right? Yes. Mu Tai's face was expressionless. He was about to launch an attack and asked Lin Yang why he wanted to kill Jones and Green. However, before Mu Tai could ask the question, Lin Yang got angry and said, "You must be very sick." Question mark, question mark, question mark. Lin Yang's cold and forceful attitude immediately confused Mu Tai and others. "No, you killed two of our brothers, and we haven't even gotten into trouble with you yet. Why are you scolding us?" Luo Sidong covered her mouth and smiled. She had gradually adapted to Lin Yang's big sunny boy characteristics. "You brat, who are you calling sick? You killed our brother and you dare to be so vicious. Boy, you are so crazy." Before Mu Tai could speak, his four team members were already angry. If it weren't for the fact that Lin Yang's dual talents of lightning and fire elements could easily kill two second-level intermediate awakeners, they would all have wanted to rush forward and overthrow Lin Yang. "What? I killed your brother?" Lin Yang was slightly startled. "You must have remembered those two black awakened men earlier, right? They are my people," Mu Tai said coldly. Lin Yang and Luo Sidong looked at each other, and they naturally did not forget that they were the two idiots who were so wretched that they harassed Luo Sidong and shouted to kill him. "Boy, why do you want to kill them?" When Mu Tai spoke, there was air surging around his body, which was murderous intent. Luo Sidong's perception was particularly keen. She felt the murderous intent on Mu Tai's body, and couldn't help but shudder. "Lin Yang, be careful, that person is much stronger than the two black awakened ones before." "It's okay, no matter how strong he is, he can't be stronger than me." Lin Yang gave Luo Sidong a reassuring smile. He turned his head, not afraid of Mu Tai's cold and intimidating gaze. "Your two men have to harass my friend like two teddy dogs, and you have to. There is no reason for us to let them bully us when they shout and kill us. They were killed by me because they asked for it." Mu Tai narrowed his eyes slightly. He was a little surprised. He didn't expect that Lin Yang, who was 18 or 19 years old, could not panic at all when faced with the pressure of a powerful fourth-level man like him. "This boy is not simple. Now that you have admitted it, you should know what the consequences will be for killing people from our heavenly punishment organization, right?" Mu Tai sneered. He didn't plan to talk nonsense to Lin Yang anymore. After all, he had other tasks and had to finish Lin Yang off quickly. He turned his head and was about to let his four men deal with Luo Sidong, but at this time, Lin Yang's hand had already been raised. "You want to kill me, right? Okay, come on, let's see who kills who." Boom. When Lin Yang finished speaking, he had already struck a thunderbolt from his palm, directly sending the short-haired man flying away. Since people have decided to kill him, why should he be polite? "I'll wait until you finish explaining everything before I take action." How naive. What the hell? Mu Tai's face turned black with anger. He originally planned to let four of his men deal with Luo Sidong, thus distracting Lin Yang so that he could defeat Lin Yang more easily. But now, Lin Yang is obviously not following the routine, and it has disrupted his plan. "You brat, you're looking for death." Mu Tai gritted his teeth, stamped his right foot on the ground, and rushed towards Lin Yang like a launched bow and arrow. High speed. Lin Yang was convinced that Mu Tai was right. He raised his hand and struck with another thunderbolt from his palm. However, Mu Tai was prepared, and he actually dodged it. Mu Tai showed a sneer. "Boy, your talent is indeed better than mine, but if you can't hit me, it means nothing." Mu Tai is considered smart. Even though his speed is still not as fast as Palm Thunder, he is still a fourth-level powerhouse. Both his reaction speed and impact speed are much faster than those of third-level awakeners. As long as he predicts Lin Yang's timing through Lin Yang's hand movements, he can avoid Lin Yang's attack in advance. "Ha ha ha, brat, you don't think you can hit our boss with just a random attack, do you? I'm not afraid to tell you that our boss is a 4th level powerhouse. If you run into him now, you're dead. Boss, kill him. The boys over there were a little proud when they saw Mutai successfully dodge Lin Yang's attack. They feel that Lin Yang's strength should be around the 3rd level intermediate level. Even if he has a lot of blessings with double S level talents, it is impossible to defeat Mutai, who is at the 4th level intermediate level. There was no emotion on Lin Yang's face, but an interesting smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. The speed is quite fast, but no matter how fast you are, can you be faster than me? With 3,000 thunderbolts, he has never been afraid of anyone in terms of speed. Whoosh! Lin Yang's body flashed like a bolt of thunder and lightning, and he was in front of Mutai in an instant. Mutai was so frightened that his face changed. You are actually faster than me. How is this possible? Lin Yang didn't have any nonsense. He blasted Mutai away with a powerful fireball. Boss! When the subordinates saw Mutai being blown away by the powerful fireball, they were all shocked, and their expressions became a little unbelievable. Maid, what's going on? How can that kid be so fast? This is unscientific. Is it my imagination? Why do I feel that Lin Yang is faster than before? Next to him, Luo Saidong was also amazed by Lin Yang. Lin Yang is calm. Now that his strength has reached the 1st level, and with the help of 3,000 thunderbolts, even if his opponent is Mutai, who is at the 4th level of the intermediate level, he will only be faster than slow in the speed competition. Over there, the thick smoke gradually dissipated. Mutai crossed his arms on his chest, his face extremely gloomy. Apart from his clothes being burned off and some burns on his skin, he didn't seem to have suffered much damage. Good boy, I underestimated you. Mutai had an expression of gritted teeth. After all, he was also a 4th level powerhouse. This was the first time he suffered at the hands of a young boy who was less than 20 years old. Oh, it's okay. Lin Yang was a little surprised. Luo Saidong also frowned. In fact, she knew that Mutai was not that weak and could not be defeated by Lin Yang with one move. But now, it's okay to eat a huge fireball. Isn't this physical strength a bit outrageous? Boss, it's okay, that's great. The boss is awesome. When those subordinates saw that their boss was fine, they instantly came back to life with full health and were extremely excited. Boy, you didn't expect that, did you? Even if you hit our boss directly with your ultimate move, our boss will still be fine. Now our boss is going to fight back. Just wait until you are finished. Boss, kill him. Lin Yang wanted to laugh after hearing this. He felt that those subordinates were not very smart. Even if Mutai could withstand the damage of his powerful fireball with his body, it only meant that Mutai could defend himself. In this situation, he still has the advantage, right? Lin Yang, be careful. That person should be an awakener of superhuman physical strengthening talents. When he uses his talents, his physical defense will be very strong. Luo Saidong seemed to notice it and quickly reminded him. Oh, you actually saw the type of my talent at a glance. Little girl, you have good observation skills. Mutai narrowed his eyes, sneered, and lowered his arms on his chest. At this time, you can see his exposed upper body, but what is surprising is that his upper body is as if it is plated with a layer of silver. It looks full of metal and very hard. Boy, I'm not afraid to tell you that my talent is called steel hardening. It is indeed a superhuman body strengthening talent. As Mutai said, the silver-plated layer on his upper body continued to expand, and eventually spread to his whole body, turning into a complete, metallic silver man. As the name suggests, as long as I use my natural power, my body will be as hard as steel. Even if your thunder and fire attacks are powerful, they will not cause any harm to me. In fact, what he said was a bit exaggerated. His use of steel hardening can indeed make his body very hard, even comparable to metal, but it is only comparable and does not really turn him into a body of steel. As long as the person is one level stronger than him or attacks with powerful penetrating power, he can easily break through his defense. Of course, when two parties confront each other, they will inevitably bluff. Mutai hoped to scare Lin Yang in this way and make Lin Yang fearful. Lin Yang, are you sure you can deal with him? Do you want me to deal with him with you? With the enemy at hand, Luo Saidong knew she could no longer watch the show. Her thinking was also clear. Lin Yanghao's fireball and palm thunder were indeed powerful, but their penetrating power was not strong. On the contrary, her divine light is extremely penetrating and can cooperate with Lin Yang to defeat Mu Tai. She didn't make many moves before, which didn't mean she was weak, it was just that she preferred to watch Lin Yang fight and gave Lin Yang the opportunity to perform. Being not, Lin Yang smiled with a relaxed expression. Maybe he thought what he said just now could scare me, but in fact, he was overthinking it. Even if his talent is a bit tricky for others, in front of me, nothing. Lin Yang is really not blindly arrogant. Now that Mu Tai is using steel hardening, it is indeed difficult for his palm thunder and fireball to cause serious damage to Mu Tai, but it doesn't mean that he is at a disadvantage now, right? He also has the A-level skill, Sandstorm Burial, that he hasn't used yet. As long as he emerges from the Sandstorm Burial, under the powerful pressure of hundreds of thousands of tons, Mu Tai's body will be crushed into a pool of flesh and blood in an instant. Even if he takes a step back and says that he does not have the Sandstorm Burial move, with his current speed of 3,000 thunderbolts, it is impossible for Mu Tai to hurt him, right? So I'm afraid of Kumba. Oh, by the way, he still has a system. At this critical moment, the system has not lost its chain. Task: slap Mu Tai 10 times. As a reward for completing the mission, you will receive an advanced sacrifice, the masked 55% Kai teacher, and unlock the A-level thunder skill, Thunder Cut. Oops, isn't this coming? Lin Yang was happy. This dog system is really tricky at ordinary times. It always issues some tricky tasks to it, but it really never fails in critical moments. How dare you say that I am nothing? Good, very good. Mu Tai's smile gradually became colder. I tell you, you are finished today. I will use my steel-like fists to smash you into flesh. There's so much nonsense. Lin Yang rushed over quickly before Mu Tai could finish speaking. Mu Tai was a little dumbfounded at the time. Didn't this kid know that his attacks were ineffective against me? Why did he still rush over? Ha ha ha, is this kid so smart? He knows that the attack will not work but he still rushes forward. Does he want to die? Boss, that kid seems to be crazy. Use your iron fist to kill him quickly, and then we can enjoy that little beauty over there together. The subordinates over there thought that Lin Yang was out of his mind, and they all laughed at him. Whoosh! However, at this time Lin Yang accelerated and came to Mu Tai in an instant like thunder and lightning. Mu Tai was immediately alert. He felt that Lin Yang still wanted to use his thunder or fire talent to attack, so he raised his arms to protect his chest. At present, when he uses steel hardening, Lin Yang's attack does not cause much damage to him, but it will still hurt, right? He still needs some defense. However, Mu Tai never expected that Lin Yang rushed in front of him, not launching a talent attack at all, but slapped him on the cheek. Snapped. An extremely clear slap sounded. Mu Tai's face was so slapped. Quote. Mu Tai was dumbfounded on the spot. Just now, he thought Lin Yang was going to launch some fierce offensive and was ready for defense, but Lin Yang actually slapped him in the face. Hiss. The men next to him were also stunned. Slap. Slap. What the hell is this? This. Luo Saidong was also a little confused. She had thought of 10,000 ways for Lin Yang to attack, but she never expected that Lin Yang would slap him. She was wondering, was Lin Yang planning to humiliate Mu Tai, expose his weaknesses, and then kill him with one blow? What the hell do you want to do? Mu Tai's face turned black with anger. He was about to turn around and ask Lin Yang what he wanted to do. Snapped. However, before he finished speaking, Mu Tai received another slap from Lin Yang. The difference is that just now Lin Yang slapped the left cheek, but now he slaps the right cheek. Lin Yang smiled and said, Jesus said that if you hit a person on the left cheek, you must continue to hit him on the right cheek. Quote. Mu Tai was so angry that his forehead was about to smoke. Why are you slapping someone when you start a fight? Are you crazy? Also, when did Jesus say that? Are you bullying me for not having read the book? You brat, I want your life. Mu Tai went crazy with anger and struck Lin Yang with his iron fist. Whoosh! Lin Yang used 3,000 thunderbolts and dodged instantly. The next moment, Lin Yang teleported back and slapped Mu Tai twice again. Quote. Mu Tai was so angry that his blood vessels almost burst. I'm going to kill you. Mu Tai attacked Lin Yong like crazy, but due to the speed difference, he couldn't hit Lin Yong no matter what. Instead, he received 7 or 8 slaps from Lin Yong in succession. Snapped. There was another crisp slap, and Lin Yong finally completed the task given by the system and slapped Mu Tai 10 times. The mission is completed, and you will get the Advanced Sacrifice, the Masked Teacher 55, and unlock the A-level Thunder skill, Thunder Cut. On the altar of the Sun God, the sacred fire was lit again. A rag doll with white hair, one eye and half of its face appeared at the altar. The sacrifice began and the rag doll began to burn. Those who break the rules are regarded as rubbish. Those who do not know how to cherish their partners are regarded as rubbish among rubbish. A voice sounded. The rag doll was burned up, and a force floated up, which was eventually absorbed by the huge golden egg in midair. Ziz. At that moment, Lin Yang's body seemed to be electrified, with a lot of electricity flowing out of his body. Coming. It's finally here. Lin Yang's expression became a little excited. As a senior anime fan, he naturally knows how powerful Reikiri is. In the early and middle stages of that anime, Reikiri was almost invincible. Even in the later stages, when the work is completed, many fans are still debating whether Reikiri is an A-level ninjutsu or an S-level ninjutsu, which is enough to show the gold content of Reikiri. What Lin Yong values most is the penetrating damage of Reikiri. Palm Thunder has a fast attack speed and is a very good attack move at medium and long distances, but the damage is average. The damage of the fireball is higher than that of the Palm Thunder, but its penetration is average. Now this, Reiki, can be said to be the perfect complement. The penetrating power of Reiki is very strong, which greatly enhances Lin Yang's melee lethality. Even if he faced an opponent like Mu Tai who was stronger and could use his talent to make his defense nearly invincible, he could still kill him at close range. Lin Yong suddenly had a feeling. He felt that the tasks given by the system and the skills unlocked for him seemed to follow a certain pattern, gradually improving his abilities in all aspects. Ma Lagobi, you slapped me 10 times in a row, are you really sick? You don't do this to humiliate people, do you? Mu Tai was angry. He roared and charged towards Lin Yong again. You want an honest duel, right? Okay, I'll make it happen for you. Lin Yong raised his lips slightly and rushed towards Mu Tai. Whoosh! Lin Yong used 3,000 thunderbolts and instantly arrived in front of Mu Tai. Are you still coming? When Mu Tai saw Lin Yong raising his right hand, he thought Lin Yong was going to slap him again, so he reacted quickly. This time he learned to be smart and immediately raised his arms to protect his cheeks. His idea was very simple. Didn't Lin Yong like to slap him? Then as long as he protected both cheeks, wouldn't Lin Yong not be able to slap him? Moreover, he could take advantage of Lin Yang's palm to counterattack Lin Yong with his legs. He is confident that as long as his counterattack can hit, he can seriously injure Lin Yong at least, or kill Lin Yong with one kick at worst. Brat, this is the price for slapping me, I want you to die. A vicious sneer appeared at the corner of Mu Tai's mouth. He was waiting for Lin Yang's offensive. As soon as Lin Yang's palm hit his defensive arm, he would immediately take action. Between one attack and one defense, Lin Yong was seriously injured and even killed. I have to say that Mu Tai's tactic is acceptable. According to Lin Yang's previous actions, he has a 50% to 60% chance of successfully counter-attacking. But unfortunately, Mu Tai guessed wrong again this time. At this moment, Lin Yong raised his hand, not intending to slap him at all, but using Reikiri. Puff! Lin Yong came over with a lightning strike and pierced Mu Tai's chest directly. Quote. Mu Tai vomited blood. It's the kind of real vomiting of blood. What the hell? Mu Tiran was stunned, especially when he saw Lin Yang's hand piercing his left chest. There were 10,000 grass and mud horses galloping past in his heart. Forehead. Lin Yong was also a little ashamed. He couldn't understand why Mu Tai suddenly held his head. Did he not see his killing move? If Mu Tai had put up his arms to protect his chest just now, even if his lightning strike had high penetrating damage, it wouldn't be that easy to hit. Snapped. Mu Tai fell down and died. He looked like he was dead set in his eyes and wanted to curse. Mu Tai couldn't figure it out until his death. How did Lin Yong turn into stabbing him? Wasn't this meant to slap him? Could you please stop playing your cards out of the box all the time? I feel so miserable when I die, do you know that? Boss, the boss was killed by that kid. Not far away, when the men saw that Mutai was dead, their faces changed with fear. How is this possible? He actually killed the boss. Yes, boss, isn't he a man of steel? Why was he stabbed to death by that kid like this? At the same time, they also felt a little unbelievable, wondering if they were hallucinating. It stands to reason that their boss, Mutai, is a tough guy that even a 5th-level expert might not be able to take down. But now, he was actually killed by a young boy under 20 years old. Isn't this too outrageous? Oh my god, how did Lin Yang do it? He actually penetrated that person's body with one move. Luo Saidong was also a little shocked. She thought Lin Yang would use super moves like Sandstorm Burial to deal with Mutai, but she didn't expect that Lin Yang would actually use close combat to kill Mutai, a man of steel, with one move. This Lin Yang, I don't know how many trump cards he has. Luo Saidong was a little numb and couldn't remember how many times she had been shocked by Lin Yang. But the more this happened, the more Luo Saidong became certain of one thing, that is, Lin Yang's power was truly beyond imagination. Her curiosity about Lin Yang and the excitement in her beautiful eyes became more and more intense. After successfully killing Mutai, Lin Yang turned his head and looked at his subordinates. The men were so frightened that they didn't dare to stay any longer and ran away. You brat, if you dare to kill our boss, I'm telling you, you're finished. Our heavenly punishment organization will never let you go. You actually threatened me when you were about to die. You really don't know how to live or die. Lin Yang sneered, he would not let Mutai's men go. Whoosh! Lin Yang used 3,000 thunderbolts and instantly came behind the 4 people. You, what are you going to do? I'm warning you. Baking. Lin Yang didn't even talk nonsense to the 4 of them. He blasted 2 powerful fireballs and killed the 4 of them easily. Looking at the 4 charred corpses on the ground, Lin Yang's face showed no emotion. To prevent future troubles, a certain degree of decisiveness was needed, and he knew this very well. Lin Yang walked back to Luo Saidong. At this time, Luo Saidong called. It was Luo Tianming. Lin Yang, my cousin and the others are almost here. Now let's go over and join them, and then go back to school. Luo Saidong put down his phone. Okay, let's go. Lin Yang nodded and left here with Luo Saidong. More than 10 minutes later, the 2 met up with Luo Tianming and others. Originally, Luo Tianming and others were discussing something animatedly in the car. When they saw Lin Yang and Luo Saidong approaching, they suddenly became excited. Especially Luo Tianming, he was so excited that he got out of the car directly. Junior brother Lin Yang, the newcomer Lin Yang who killed nearly 1,000 blue-eyed glass snakes with one move, is you, right? Luo Tianming asked excitedly. He was still holding a mobile phone in his hand, and on the screen was a notice issued by the Awakened Association and the Hunter Alliance. Well, it's me, but senior brother Luo, didn't you go to the center of the central zone? How did you know? Lin Yang was stunned for a moment. I definitely know, because both the Awakened Association and the Hunter Alliance have issued announcements. Luo Tianming handed the phone to Lin Yang with excitement on his face. Junior brother Lin Yang, look, you have broken the record of the fastest promotion from bronze level to gold level since the establishment of the Awakened Association, and you have become the first person in the record. You're on fire, is it? Lin Yang was a little surprised. He took Luo Tianming's cell phone to see what was going on. Luo Saidong put her little head over, and she was also a little curious. The situation is exactly as Luo Tianming said. As early as 10 minutes ago, both the Awakened Association and the Hunter Alliance issued an announcement. The content is that a new awakened person who is less than 20 years old killed thousands of demons in just half a day. These include more than a dozen giant-toothed wolves, more than 100 ghost-faced devil spiders, and more than 900 blue-eyed glazed snakes. They were directly promoted from the newly registered Bronze LV1 to Gold LV2. The level soared by 2 major levels, setting a new record for the Union. A record of being quickly promoted to Gold level. The Awakened Association and the Hunter Alliance can be said to be the 2 largest awakened organizations, so as soon as the 2 announcements came out, they immediately caused an uproar and shocked many awakened people. Under the forums of the Awakened Association and the Hunter Alliance, many awakened people are discussing Lin Yang. This announcement has even been posted online and made headlines. Looking at Fennel in a desperate situation, I went from bronze LV1 to gold LV2 in half a day. Isn't that awesome? I'm afraid this is not inferior to the Ice Emperor Han Feng back then. Sunshine Boy Malik, what's not to lose? Do you have eyes upstairs? Now that guy's record has surpassed that of Ice Emperor Han Feng. It also took Han Feng 2 days to be promoted from bronze to gold level. Okay. I want to make Aqua cry. Doesn't that mean that Lin Yang, who is currently setting records, may surpass Ice Emperor Han Feng in the future? Many netizens are discussing it heatedly. The first person to record. Isn't this a bit exaggerated? Lin Yang returned the phone to Luo Tianming. In his opinion, the Association of Awakeners has been established for hundreds of years, and many powerful people have created countless records, especially those 5 powerful people, who have created countless horrific records of changes and states in these years. Now he has killed more than 1,000 ferocious beasts in just half a day. He looks really powerful, but he shouldn't be as exaggerated as the first person in the record, right? Junior brother Lin Yang, actually, this record first person does not mean that you are the first person in various records of the Awakened Association, it just means that you are the first person in the Brave Card level promotion record. Luo Tianming explained. In other words, junior brother Lin Yang is the first person in the record when it comes to improving the level of the Brave Card. There has never been an awakened person who can soar from bronze level to gold level in such a fast time. Great. So that's it. Lin Yang nodded. He only cared about one question. Senior brother Luo, is there any reward for setting a record? For example, money or something? Records and everything else are fictitious. As a pragmatist, Lin Yang only cares about whether there are actual benefits. It seems not, but junior brother Lin Yang, you have set this record, which is equivalent to making a name for yourself in the Awakener Association and the Hunter League. Luo Tianming shook his head. He was about to say something excitedly, but Lin Yang was not interested at all. He had already set a record and didn't even give him a bonus of 100,000 or 80,000 yuan. He was a bit stingy. In fact, the main reason why Lin Yang cares so much about money is because of cultivation resources. In the battle with Mu Tai, he figured out one thing. Before his strength reached the first level, the speed of 3,000 thunderbolts could only be as fast as that of a 5th level powerhouse. Even if he is still much faster than the 4th level intermediate Mu Tai, if he encounters someone stronger next time, the 5th level intermediate or the 5th level advanced, then his speed will have no advantage. At present, the 3,000 thunder moves can be said to be Lin Yang's life-saving talisman. Once the 3,000 thunder moves cannot take advantage, then he will be in danger. Therefore, Lin Yang knew very well that he must quickly improve his strength. The stronger he is, the more powerful the effect of his 3,000 thunderbolts will be. To quickly improve your strength, you need a lot of spiritual crystals, so you really can't miss money. The two got into the car, started the car, and left here. In the blink of an eye, 6 days passed. During these 6 days, Lin Yang was almost the same as that day. In the morning, he and Luo Saidong would follow Luo Tianming's Kamakazi team to experience the occupied areas. The afternoon and evening are used for training and improving strength. Lin Yang spends 7 or 8 hours every day practicing. In just 6 days, his strength has directly improved from the quasi-first level to the first level intermediate level. But what's a bit annoying is that his wallet hasn't grown much. The reason is simple. After the 2nd day, he never met Wang Zuan, the god of wealth, again. Without Wang Zuan to pull monsters for him, he would only encounter 10 or 8 ferocious beasts at most every time he went. If he killed them all, he would only earn 100,000 yuan, which was too little. In those days, Lin Yang was regretting why he didn't ask for Wang Zuan's contact information at that time. This was a huge loss. During these 6 days, the system did not give many tasks, so he only obtained a B-level water skill, Water Dragon Bomb. At 7:30 in the evening, Lin Yang opened an express package. That was the spiritual crystal he purchased on the official website of the Awakened Association. A total of 50 spiritual crystals cost him 4 million Sha national coins. On average, the price of each spiritual crystal is 80,000 yuan, which is cheaper than the 100,000 yuan one on the market. However, this is not a price discount for bulk purchases, but a 20% discount for gold-level Brave cards when purchasing things on the official website of the Association of Awakeners. Silver Brave card, 10% off. Golden Brave card, 20% off. Platinum Brave card, 30% off. It vividly explains what it means to be respected by the strong. The stronger you are, the more ferocious beasts you kill, and the more benefits you enjoy. 50 spiritual crystals are actually not many. According to Lin Yang's current cultivation speed, they can last for about 22 days at most. It's better to buy it in batches, otherwise if you buy hundreds of pieces at once and a thief breaks into the house, he will burst into tears. Lin Yang packed up and came out from Fangjian with his clothes, ready to take a shower. At this time, Luo Saidong ran over with excitement on his face. Lin Yang, the class list has come out. Can you guess whether we have been assigned to the same class? Only then did Lin Yang realize that school started tomorrow. Time flies so fast. We should be in the same class. After all, we all have God-type talents. Lin Yang didn't even think about it. Hey, you guessed it, we are in the same class. Luo Saidong smiled brightly. By the way, Lin Yang, there is an incredible guy in our class, did you know? Amazing guy. Who is he? Lin Yang asked. Guzu. Guzu. Who is here? Lin Yang was a little confused. Ah, you don't know. He is a genius known as the second high school student in the country. Luo Saidong explained. I've heard of Xiao Yuchen, the strongest high school student in the country. Lin Yang smiled. He didn't care much, let alone the second high school in the country. Even if Xiao Yuchen, the strongest high school student, was in the same class as him, he still had to rely on himself for training and experience. All right, Luo Saidong didn't care anymore. She smiled and said, Lin Yang, hurry up and take a shower. After you take a shower, we will go to bed to practice. Now she has fallen in love with the feeling of practicing with Lin Yang. Not only can she accumulate divine attributes, but Lin Yang can also increase her practice speed by 2 to 3 times. This is so cool. Lin Yang, why are you shrinking? Is your stomach uncomfortable? It's okay. Lin Yang was a little helpless to complain. If you practice, just practice. What do you mean by adding those 2 extra words? It makes it seem like you need to practice double. At 10:30 in the evening, Lin Yang and Luo Saidong practiced together face to face as usual. Boom. At this time, a subtle energy wave rippled through Luo Saidong's body, and she actually broke through. Did you break through? Lin Yang sensed it. He opened his eyes and looked at Luo Saidong. Yes, I broke through and reached the second level of advanced level. Luo Saidong was so excited that she actually hugged Lin Yang. Lin Yang, thank you so much. If you hadn't helped me increase my cultivation speed, it would have taken me half a month to break through to the second level advanced level. Quote. Lin Yang only felt like he was hit. Hiss. Lin Yang took a breath. He was about to sigh, but he was immediately confused by Luo Saidong's words. What did you say? I will help you increase your cultivation speed. Luo Saidong let go of Lin Yang. Yes, when I practice with you, my practice speed can be 2 or 3 times faster. I don't know the specific reason. In short, when you practice, the light emitted by your body can not only improve my divine attributes, but also speed up the flow of energy in my body, thus increasing my practice speed. Luo Saidong said, sticking out his tongue a little embarrassedly. Actually, I discovered this situation when we first practiced. It's just that you shocked me many times at that time. When we first met, you asked me to keep praising you, which will make me I was a little embarrassed, so I didn't tell you. Then why are you telling me again now? Lin Yang was amused. He thought Luo Saidong's reaction was quite cute. We are much more familiar with each other now. Luo Saidong's expression was natural. Now that you are familiar with me a lot, why don't you praise me now? Lin Yang looked at Luo Saidong's cute appearance and decided to tease the little girl. How can you take the initiative to ask others to praise you? Luo Saidong pursed her lips, but she still said, but after you came here, you really helped me a lot. Not only did you improve my divine attributes a lot, but you also made my cultivation speed 2 or 3 times faster. Lin Yang, I want to thank you for letting me break through to the second level so quickly. Isn't it enough to just express gratitude with your mouth? Lin Yang smiled. I hugged you just now, isn't that enough? Luo Saidong's face turned red, and she pouted dissatisfiedly. What do you think? Lin Yang was happy. Originally, he was just teasing Luo Saidong, but he didn't expect that the little girl would take it seriously. Then, how else do you want me to thank you? Luo Saidong's face turned even redder. Lin Yang was about to speak when the system's voice sounded. Task: make love with Luo Saidong. Reward: obtain the advanced sacrifice. It makes people feel bad for Shisui-san. Unlock the A-level special pupil and the growth type Sharingan. Lin Yang laughed at that time. In the past few days, he had been wondering why the system didn't come out to act like a monster. Unexpectedly, it wasn't that the system didn't act, but that the time had not come yet. You stupid system wants to trick me again, right? But you don't think that you can trick me with your little cleverness, do you? Lin Yang didn't panic at all. Anyway, he had already been mentally prepared to compete with the system. Isn't it just making love? What's so difficult about it? I'm going to fix Shisui's Sharingan. Lin Yang suddenly attacked and threw Luo Saidong onto the bed. Luo Saidong was startled. She seemed to have thought of something, and her face suddenly turned red. However, before she could say anything, Lin Yang's waist had already exerted force. The two of them quickly rolled from the head of the bed to the end of the bed like rolling bunks. The moment the two fell from the end of the bed, Lin Yang quickly adjusted his posture. While turning his body, he landed firmly on his feet and hugged Luo Saidong like a princess. Don't be nervous, I just thought of a new way of fighting and wanted to try it out. Lin Yang smiled and put Luo Saidong down. It turned out to be a trial of fighting methods. I thought. Luo Saidong couldn't speak anymore. His face was so red that it looked like it was feverish, and steam was coming out of his forehead. Lin Yang, tonight is almost over, I'm leaving first, good night. Luo Saidong didn't dare to look at Lin Yang, and ran out quickly as if trying to escape. Lin Yang's attention is on the system. The mission is completed, and the advanced sacrifice is rewarded. It makes people feel bad for Shisui-san, which unlocks the A-level special pupil and the growth type Sharingan. Lin Yang's face was calm. When it comes to system bugs, he is already familiar with it, and the system's tasks that deceive him will naturally not be a problem for him. Having with Luo Saidong didn't say it had to be that way. As long as you complete the action of rolling over the sheets, isn't it okay? At this time, the sacred fire of the sun god altar was lit again. A handsome-looking rag doll with a sunny temperament and a short knife on his back appeared on the altar. The sacrifice begins and the doll is burned with the sacred fire. For the sake of peace, even if you sacrifice me, it doesn't matter. A gentle voice sounded. Soon, the rag doll was burned up, and the power of the rag doll floated up, and was eventually absorbed by the sun god above. At that moment, Lin Yang's eyes changed. His eyes turned into a pair of Magatama Sharingan. Is this the power of the Sharingan? It's really awesome. Lin Yang was a little excited. After opening the Sharingan, he clearly felt that the power and insight of his eyes had become much stronger. As long as he thinks about it, he can clearly see even some dust in the corner of the room or tiny mosquitoes flying in from the window. The next second, a strange scene happened. Lin Yang's Magatama Sharingan suddenly turned into a second Magatama. Lin Yang felt it, and he was a little strange. Lin Yang picked up a mirror and was a little surprised when he discovered that his Sharingan had advanced. He also knows that the growth-type Sharingan usually opens one Magatama first, and then evolves through the second and third Magatama. But now, he has two Magatama as soon as he opens his eyes. System, what's going on? Why did my Sharingan become two Magatama as soon as I opened it? Lin Yang asked. Because you are a God-type awakened person, you have God-type energy in your body, which can allow the Sharingan to evolve quickly. Is that so? When the system said that, Lin Yang recalled the opportunity for Motola to open the Samsara Eye. It seemed that it was because he swallowed the Hashirama cells containing the magic chakra. His God-type energy is definitely not inferior to Hashirama cells with Senjutsu chakra, and he can evolve the Sharingan quickly, so there is really nothing wrong with him. At this time, the system popped up a light screen interface with information about Lin Yang's Sharingan. Lin Yong took a look and found that the current abilities of his Magatama Sharingan include microscopic insight, ability to clearly see the flow of energy in the opponent's body, as well as offensive and defensive physical movements. Move copying. Whether it is physical skills or talent moves, perfect copying can be achieved through perfect observation. Mental defense. Able to neutralize illusions and reflect mental attacks. Lin Yong nodded secretly. This was indeed the ability of the Sharingan. What he is most satisfied with is the ability of mental defense. With the skills he currently possesses, he is actually not afraid of facing 4th level or even 5th level experts, but he has a fatal weakness. Since his current strength is only an intermediate level, his basic attributes are too low. And spirit is also one of the basic attributes. He is indeed not afraid of the elemental and superhuman elements that attack hard. But if you meet someone with telekinesis and they give him an illusion or mental attack, I'm afraid he will get GG. But now that he has the spiritual defense of the Sharingan, he no longer has to worry about illusions and mental attacks. The biggest weakness has also been overcome. Lin Yong felt more and more that the system unlocked skills for him in a regular manner, just like those easy-to-remember stars, which areas he didn't click on, and which areas he was weak in, strengthened them. This hexagonal warrior is just around the corner. By the way, Lin Yong, school starts tomorrow, class starts at 8 o'clock, don't forget. Tomorrow morning, let's set off together, good night. Luo Saidong's little head came in, her face was still a little red, and after saying that, she ran away like she was in danger. School starts tomorrow, Lin Yong murmured to himself and walked to the wall. The calendar has been turned to a new page. This also indicates that Lin Yang's life has opened a new page. The freshman class has started, and students from other grades have also finished their vacations. The campus is no longer as calm as it was a few days ago, but has become much more lively. A pair of young men and women approached, and many people were amazed at their good looks and good temperament. However, when they saw the two of them holding a large skewer in both hands, they were a little dumbfounded. This did not match their temperament at all. Especially the silver-haired girl. She was like an evil spirit reincarnated, mouthing strings one after another, and laughing loudly from time to time, which made many students watching dumbfounded. Because most of them knew Luo Saidong, the principal's daughter. At the previous anniversary celebration of the school, they saw Luo Saidong as if she were a fairy descending to earth, as beautiful as any other. In addition, Luo Saidong is also the proud daughter of the Lolos tribe. How good is her temperament? How elegant is her behavior? Many students still remember her vividly. But now, not only do they play crazily in the streets, but they also occasionally chase and fight with others, just like a child. This image is a bit broken. Not far away, the student union president Zhu Qing also noticed it. He was obviously stunned. Is it my misunderstanding? Why do I feel that junior sister Saidong seems to have learned bad things from junior brother Lin Yong? But junior sister Saidong seems to be smiling more than before, which is a good thing. Zhu Qing smiled and shook his head, not paying much attention. Lin Yong, why do I feel that everyone looks at me a little strangely? Luo Saidong was not blind, so she naturally noticed it. She suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Haha, that's for sure. How can any girl snatch skewers from others on the street like you? Lin Yong joked with a smile. Due to having morning classes, Luo Saidong didn't make breakfast as usual today. They both planned to go to the school supermarket to buy some bread. However, on the way, Lin Yong found someone selling barbecue not far from the school. The smell made him a little greedy, so he used 3,000 thunderbolts to fly out of the school and bought dozens of skewers. Luo Saidong is the proud daughter of the Lolos tribe and the daughter of the dean. Where has she ever eaten street food such as barbecued skewers? Seeing how delicious Lin Yong ate, she was also greedy, so she asked Lin Yong for some barbecued food. Come over and eat. No, she still wanted to eat after eating, so she continued to ask Lin Yong for it, but Lin Yong was not happy, so she acted like the dean's daughter was all over the street grabbing skewers. Therefore, it was really not Lin Yong who led Luo Saidong into trouble. But what is certain is that after these 6 days of getting along, Lin Yong and Luo Saidong have become very familiar with each other, and Luo Saidong even often fights with Lin Yong. Is this so? When Lin Yong said that, Luo Sidong became even more embarrassed. Then I won't take it from you. It's enough for me to finish this bunch. Lin Yong was happy. He just said something casually. Do you believe him? Isn't this little girl too easy to fool? While chatting, the two of them had already walked to the teaching building. Lin Yong, do you remember which classroom it is in? Remember, C204. When playing with Luo Sidong earlier, Lin Yang's hands were dirty, and now he was going to the bathroom to wash them. Okay, I'll go up first. Don't delay for so long, or you'll be late. You still have the nerve to say that. If you weren't like a glutton and insisted on grabbing my skewers, I wouldn't have done anything. I won't tell you anymore, I'm going up. Luo Sidong covered his ears and ran away. The daughter of the dignified dean went all over the street to grab other people's skewers, and then was watched by so many senior brothers and sisters. She felt that this had become her dark history. Lin Yong shook his head with a smile and walked towards the bathroom. Not far away, a man looked at Lin Yang's back and was so angry that his teeth almost broke. Maid, that fool is actually so close to Sidong. Luo Meng had an expression on his face as he gritted his teeth. How could he bear to see the girl he liked having love with other men? He even wanted to catch up and beat Lin Yong. But he also knew that he couldn't defeat Lin Yong in a fight, and he would only get beaten if he rushed forward rashly. Lin, you won't be proud for long. I'll ask my brother to take care of you at noon. Just wait, I will get you out of the Gods Training Academy sooner or later. Luo Meng clenched his fists, snorted and left. Is that Jiu Ziyu, the second high school student in Sha Kingdom? Is he so handsome in person? Yes, although he is not as powerful as Xiao Yuchen, the strongest high school student, he is much more handsome than Xiao Yuchen. He is totally my type. In the classroom, many girls were obsessed with a male classmate with orange hair. Beside, many boys looked unhappy, but they didn't say much. After all, they knew well that he was the second high school student in Sha State, a super genius with strength and background. Although he was not very handsome, his facial features were pretty good. Dye your hair, wear earrings, and dress fashionably. It can be said that he beat them in every aspect. It's okay not to accept it. Young Master Ji, have you noticed? Many girls are peeking at you and discussing you. Peeping at me, discussing me, isn't this normal? The corner of Jiu Ziyu's mouth raised slightly. He seemed to enjoy the infatuated looks cast by those girls. What woman wouldn't like such an outstanding man like me? By the way, the dean's daughter, Luo Sidong, a talented and beautiful girl from the Lolo's tribe, isn't she in the same class as me? Why don't you see her here? Jiu Ziyu changed the topic and asked. Oh, Mr. Jiu, you are actually interested in women. The dog leg showed an unexpected expression. He seemed to have figured something out, and he said with a mischievous smile, I was wondering at the beginning why, Mr. Jiu, you gave up the Imperial University and chose to come to the Gods Training Academy. It turns out that you, Mr. Jiu, did it for Luo. Are you from Sidong? Jiu Ziyu smiled and gave the dog-legged man a look that said, it's good if you understand me. However, the actual situation was not at all what he said. The reason why he chose to come to the Gods Training Academy was because he came here to cause destruction under the instructions of his father, the leader of a top university. In the past 5 years, Jiu Ziyu's father's top school has been repeatedly defeated by the Gods Cultivation Academy in the National College Student Awakener competition. However, the ranking of the Gods Cultivation Academy was much lower among domestic universities. This made Jiu Ziyu's father and other school leaders feel very embarrassed. No, it's obvious that you can't play well, so let's do some damage. Ever since, Jiu Ziyu was sent here as an undercover agent. With Jiu Ziyu's qualifications as the second high school student in the Sha Kingdom, it will definitely be no problem to join the team of the Gods Training Academy. By then, there will be many opportunities to cause destruction. Jiu Ziyu has a romantic nature, and he often plays with women. He knows that Luo Sidong is a rare genius of the Lolo's tribe in a century. The awakening talent seems to be very mysterious and powerful. In the future, he will definitely represent the Gods Cultivation Academy to participate in the national awakening of college students. Contest. As the saying goes, sharpening the knife does not waste time chopping firewood. They are all here to cause damage anyway, so they can play with Luo Sidong by the way. Anyway, it was the first time for him to see a girl as breathtakingly beautiful as Luo Sidong. It would be so cool to be able to play with her for once. There is still some time for class now, and Luo Sidong may not have arrived yet. As the dog leg was talking, a silver-haired girl walked in from the classroom door. Wow! At that moment, many boys in the classroom exclaimed. They were all stunned by Luo Sidong's beauty. With her looks and figure, she was far ahead of those female stars in the entertainment industry. Young Master Ji-yu, Luo Sidong is here. Go Leg was also shocked, and he quickly reminded Ji-yu Ziyu. Ji-yu Ziyu took a breath, and his eyes became a little hot. In fact, he had seen Luo Sidong's photos and was amazed at that time. He had never seen such a beautiful woman. However, he did not expect that Luo Sidong was 10 times more beautiful in person than in the photo. This face and figure are too much. Even a playboy like him, who has a strong fixation on women, is tempted. Ji-yu Ziyu exhaled and got up. Young Master Ji-yu, are you ready to take action? When Goji saw Ji-yu Ziyu getting up from his seat, he smiled evilly. Cannot wait anymore. Ji-yu Ziyu smiled evilly. I will try to capture her within today. After saying that, Ji-yu Ziyu walked towards Luo Sidong. Luo Sidong had just sat down at this time. She took out her mobile phone and was about to send a WeChat message to Lin Yong to tell Lin Yong that she had found the location and asked Lin Yong to come quickly. Hello, classmate, I can sit here. Ji-yu Ziyu walked up, showing a smile that he thought was handsome and elegant, and he was going to sit next to Luo Sidong. Ah, no, this position belongs to Lin Yong. Luo Sidong quickly refused. She finally found a good seat so she couldn't let anyone else sit. Ji-yu Ziyu froze when he was about to sit down. At that moment, Ji-yu Ziyu's expression became a little embarrassed. Ji-yu Ziyu, was actually rejected. Is this fake? Ji-yu Ziyu was stunned, his expression was a bit unbelievable. As the second high school student in Shaw State and a genius among geniuses, the most important thing around Ji-yu Ziyu is women. Not to mention his qualifications and talents that can surpass his peers, his background and appearance alone can also attract the favor of many women. So he has never failed in picking up girls. Even most of the time, he doesn't even have to take the initiative. There are a lot of girls with outstanding looks and figures coming over to let him. But unfortunately, facing Luo Sidong now, he was rejected instantly. This is a bit of a shock. Mr. Ji-yu, he was actually rejected. The dog-legged Wang Dao on the side saw it, and he was a little stunned. Puff. On the other hand, there were many boys around him who couldn't hold it in anymore and laughed out loud. They were happy and comfortable. So what about Sha Guo Second High School? Weren't you rejected by our classmate Luo Sidong? That's right, he really thinks how handsome he is, but now it's useless against the dean's daughter, right? Oh my god, did you see it? Student Ji-yu Ziyu was actually rejected. Then what can be done? Don't you know who that girl is? She is Luo Sidong, the dean's daughter, a rare genius of the Lolos tribe in a century. No matter in terms of status or qualifications, she is not inferior to Ji-yu Ziyu, and she has a good family background. She's so pretty. Girls like this are often pursued by boys, so they won't be as nymphomaniac as us. Some girls around seemed a little unhappy, but they also had helpless expressions. After all, they also know how big the gap is between themselves and Luo Sidong. Luo Sidong may not like a boy who they think is very good and outstanding. Ahem, this classmate, don't you know who I am? Ji-yu Ziyu coughed twice. He was wondering if Luo Sidong didn't know that he was Ji-yu Ziyu, the second high school student in Sha country. If this is the case, then he will introduce himself as a family member, shock Luo Sidong, and make Luo Sidong regret rejecting him just now. Luo Sidong raised her head, looked at Ji-yu Ziyu, and tilted her head in confusion. I don't know, but I feel like I have seen you somewhere. There's drama. Ji-yu Ziyu's eyes suddenly lit up. In his opinion, if Luo Sidong thought he looked familiar, he must know Ji-yu Ziyu, the second high school student in Sha Kingdom. As long as he says it, Luo Sidong will remember it, and then he can instantly close the distance with Luo Sidong. This classmate, I think you should have seen me in some news reports. Guzu pretended to be modest and shy. I may be a little embarrassed, but in fact I am Guzu, the second high school student in Sha country that many people discuss on the internet. However, before the last word, "you" was finished, Luo Saidong seemed to see something. She quickly waved towards the door of the classroom. "Lin Yang, here. I'm here." There is no doubt that Lin Yang came in. Guzu was ignored and completely collapsed. Other students in the classroom also saw Lin Yang. The eyes of the girls who were obsessed with Guzu before suddenly lit up. "Oh my god, who did this boy come from? He is so handsome." Yes, he is much, much more handsome than Guzu. But why did classmate Luo Saidong wave to him? Does that handsome guy know classmate Luo Saidong? Don't look at me, I'm a hen. Some girls noticed something strange and felt a little strange. Who is that man from? Why does he seem to be familiar with Luo Saidong? I don't know, but I saw him once when I came to the teaching building. He seemed to be with classmate Luo Saidong. Together, is it possible that classmate Luo Saidong is already married to a famous woman? Wow, my goddess. There are also many people discussing it among the boys. Lin Yang didn't pay much attention, he walked towards Luo Saidong. This classmate, please give way, I want to go inside. Lin Yang looked at Guzu's appearance and felt that Guzu must have come to strike up a conversation with Luo Saidong. He didn't pay much attention to it, but Guzu hadn't come out yet and was in his way. Well, please give in, otherwise Lin Yang won't be able to come in. Luo Saidong also said. Guzu reluctantly stepped aside. Lin Yang nodded, walked in and sat next to Luo Saidong. Luo Saidong showed a bright smile and talked to Lin Yang. This kid, doesn't he know that I am Guzu, the second high school student? He actually dares to ignore me. As a defeated dog, Guzu could only withdraw sadly even though he felt very unhappy. But as soon as he returned to his seat, the dog-legged Wang Dao came up to him. "Young Master Gu, do you think that man looks familiar?" "What does it look familiar? I don't know that kind of general person." Guzu also felt that Lin Yang looked familiar, but he was very angry and refused to admit it, and his words were full of disparagement. "It looks familiar. Hey, I remembered it." Wang Dao seemed to remember something, and he quickly took out his mobile phone. "It's true." Wang Dao's expression became a little excited. He handed the phone to Guzu. "Young Master Gu, I just said that I read it right. Look here, we have really seen that man before. We have seen him in that weird news before." Weird news. Guzu seemed to have remembered something. He became a little uneasy and quickly took Wang Dao's cell phone. "It turns out it's really him." Guzu looked at Lin Yang's picture in the news, and his expression became a little excited. That weirdo who awakened the egg during the awakening ceremony. Obviously, the news report on Wang Dao's mobile phone was the previous report that Lin Yang was mistakenly thought to have awakened AD-level suspected food system during the awakening ceremony. Moreover, this report was written in the direction of seeking novelties and attracting attention, so it was a bit embellished. It must have been fabricated. The entire report almost revolved around Lin Yang's unlucky and useless character. Right. In fact, not many people have read the report about Lin Yang awakening an egg. After all, Sha Kingdom is too big, and on the day of the awakening ceremony, everyone focused on the geniuses on the high school genius list. How many people would pay attention to some unlucky ones? Weird. However, Guzu and Wang Dao had read this report, and they were quite impressed. No, Lin Yang has been recognized now. It's indeed him, but isn't he awakening AD-level talent? Why can he enroll in a top school like the Gods Training Academy? And he's in Class A just like us. Wang Dao was a little confused. TCH, is there any need to think about this? That guy is obviously influenced by Luo Saidong. Who is Luo Saidong? The daughter of the Dean of the Gods Cultivation Academy. As long as Luo Saidong tells her father, let that waste come in, it's simply not too easy. Guzu snorted coldly, his tone full of contempt. After saying that, Guzu stood up from his seat, turned around and walked towards Lin Yang. Young Master Gu, what are you? Wang Dao was a little confused. Nothing, just go over and say hello. A sinister smile appeared on Guzu's lips, and after speaking, he walked towards Lin Yang. Guzu came to Lin Yang and said to Lin Yang in a condescending tone, "This classmate, I don't think you are qualified to sit here." "What's the meaning?" Lin Yang frowned. Luo Saidong was also a little unhappy. What happened to this man? He came over again and again to disturb Lin Yang and me. It literally means, you are not qualified to sit here, you are not qualified to sit in this classroom. Guzu sneered. Hiss. Many students were frightened by the tense atmosphere. Was there going to be a fight? A male classmate who was interested in running for class president stood up and said with some embarrassment, Classmate Guzu, I know it was a bit embarrassing for you to be rejected by classmate Luo Saidong just now, but it's not like this, right? After all, everyone is the same, my classmates, it's not good to make such a fuss." Puff. Many people around were amused. They all felt that what the future monitor said was reasonable. If someone rejects you, just reject it. It is not very graceful to insist on stalking. And they were also a little surprised. It turned out that Guzu, the second high school in Sha country, was nothing more than that. Lin Yang was also happy. In fact, everyone knows what Guzu's situation is, but if he says it directly, it will make Guzu very embarrassed. Lin Yang knew that the future squad leader was rushing to mediate, but the style of this mediator was a bit funny, and he seemed to be a mediator genius. Before he left the army, he lost his temper, which made Guzu a little unable to hold himself tight. "Who the hell told you that I was here to pick up girls?" "Mad, even if I was, you couldn't say it so clearly. If you don't know how to mediate, why don't you just shut up?" "I didn't mean that, okay." Guzu became a little angry and quickly emphasized, "I mean, with his qualifications and talents, he is not qualified to study at the Gods Cultivation Academy, and he is not qualified to sit in our Class A classroom." He was picking on Lin Yang because of jealousy. Even he, an S-level genius from the second high school in Sha Kingdom, was rejected. What qualifications does Lin Yang, a D-level waste, have to sit with Luo Saidong? What qualifications do you have to chat and laugh with Luo Saidong? He felt that Lin Yang was not worthy at all. Of course, even if he is bitter or jealous, he can't say it clearly, otherwise how embarrassing would it be? Therefore, we can only use Lin Yang's rubbish qualifications and talents as an attack point. If you don't have enough qualifications and talents, you are definitely not qualified to study at a top institution like the Gods Training Academy. As long as he can get Lin Yang to get out, not only will the anger he suffered earlier disappear and his face will be gained, but no one will be able to compete with him for Luo Saidong in the future. It is simply killing two birds with one stone. Well, student Guzu, I know you are very excited now, and I also know that your qualifications and talents are outstanding. Our other classmates cannot compare with you, but you can't belittle everyone like this. This classmate who wants to run for class president in the future is called Shang Renxin. After hearing what Guzu said, his expression became even more embarrassed and a little aggrieved. While talking about this, why did it get burned on me? I'm just here to break up the fight, and I didn't provoke you, so why are you? Obviously, Shang Renxin misunderstood. He felt that Guzu, as the second high school student in Sha State and a genius among geniuses, must have some genius disease, that is, he looked down on others. So just now Guzu said that Lin Yang's qualifications and talents were rubbish. In his understanding, it was not that Lin Yang's qualifications and talents were really rubbish, but that Guzu, a super genius, was too arrogant. Even though his classmates are all excellent, he still looks down upon him, and even the top talents in the superhuman department feel that they are poor. I have to say that Shang Renxin's words are very powerful. With his explanation, other students understood and successfully helped Guzu attract a lot of hatred. Young Master Gu, we know that you are the second high school student in Sha Kingdom and you are very impressive, but there is no need to belittle us with such insinuations, right? Classmate Guzu, from what you said, anyone whose qualifications and talents are not as good as yours is not qualified to be in this class, right? Let's go then. Many students in the class were angry, and some students with a relatively bad temper couldn't help but taunt him in a weird way. Even the girls who were obsessed with Guzu before had a bit of an ugly look on their faces. They thought Guzu's words were too ugly. You are a super genius, aren't you? Bah. Quote. Guzu was dumbfounded. When did I say that? I'm just talking about him. What are you doing blindly? Are you crazy? Puff. Lin Yong couldn't hold himself any longer at that time. He felt that Shang Renxin, the future squad leader, was really a genius at persuading all the classmates in the class. With Zhang Wei, the reliable lawyer, with such a mouth, he would have to bow down, right? Classmate Guzu, I personally think that this classmate is still the best. I didn't say that. Just sit down. Guzu was a little afraid of Shang Renxin. If he let this fool continue talking, he might describe him as a cosmic monster who wants to destroy the world. Let me emphasize that I said he is not qualified to sit here because he is a D-level talent awakener. Regardless of his qualifications or talent, he is far from meeting the admission standards of the Gods Cultivation Academy. He is not qualified and does not deserve to be a student here. Guzu finished speaking in one breath. D-level talent awakener. Is this impossible? Guzu's words had an effect. After he said this, many classmates looked over. Yes, this person is a D-level talent awakener. Guzu pointed at Lin Yong. And I'm definitely not lying, because I have evidence. Guzu said and winked at Wang Dao. Wang Dao nodded and showed the news that Lin Yong had awakened an egg to some of the surrounding students. I remember this news. A classmate told me before that someone awakened an egg during the awakening ceremony. So that person was him. I really awakened an egg. Phew, what the hell is this D-level suspected food talent? Many students began to discuss it. As we all know, our Gods Training Academy is one of the top 10 universities in the country, right? And our Class A is the best among the 10 classes in the freshman year. Not only me, but other students in the class are also very good. How can an elite class like ours tolerate a waste with a D-level talent? Isn't this a disgrace to our class? Guzu's words were very inflammatory. When he said that, many students with relatively simple ideas immediately cast a look of disgust at Lin Yong. Guzu turned around and looked at Lin Yong, his eyes becoming sharp. So, a waste like him has no right to sit here or take classes with us. Guzu walked up to Lin Yong and his attitude became arrogant. You, get out of here and get out of the Gods Training Academy. Luo Saidong frowned. She couldn't help it anymore and wanted to stand up and argue with Guzu. However, at this time, Lin Yong spoke first. You are so mentally ill. Lin Yong still had his usual style. He would not be polite to those who were looking for trouble and would directly attack them. Hiss. Many students around him were a little shocked. That classmate actually dared to scold Guzu like this. Isn't this too courageous? Maid, who do you think is sick? If you have the ability, tell me again. Wang Dao over there looked like he was about to get angry, but Guzu gestured for him to sit down. Students, did you see this? He is anxious. Guzu looked like a winner with a relaxed smile. Why is he anxious? Because I hit the spot on his pain points. He is so rubbish that he cannot awaken with rubbish D-level talents. It's enough. Luo Saidong couldn't stand it anymore. She slapped the table and stood up, glaring at Guzu angrily. If you don't understand Lin Yong, don't talk nonsense. Lin Yong is not as useless as you say. Classmate Luo Saidong, I know you have a good relationship with him, but I want to say that it's useless for you to help him like this. Guzu smiled and said, according to news reports, the talent he awakened in the awakening ceremony is indeed a D-level genius. Snapped. However, before he could finish speaking, Guzu received a slap on the face, knocking him to the ground. Obviously, it was Lin Yong who took action. That classmate, he actually dared to fight with Guzu. Yes, doesn't he know that Guzu is the second high school student in Sha country? Is he crazy if he hits Guzu like this or slaps him in the face? Many students nearby were shocked. They never expected that Lin Yong could be so strong. Not only did he dare to scold Guzu, but he also dared to take action directly. You know, Guzu is the second high school student in Sha Kingdom, and he is stronger than all of them here. Lin Yang's face was calm. Guzu had bullied him to the point of being bullied, and he still acted like a ninja turtle. This was not in line with his style. On the other hand, Guzu received a slap from Lin Yang, and it was in full view of everyone. He was so angry that his teeth almost broke. You've already started, right? Okay, that's great, but let me tell you, you're finished. Guzu stood up, and as a cold smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, his momentum rose, his hair danced wildly, and he looked very oppressive. What do you want to do? Luo Saidong's expression became alert. She stretched out her right hand, and golden light quickly condensed in her palm. This isn't really going to start a fight, is it? Many students around were frightened. Guzu is a genius among geniuses, and Luo Saidong is also a genius among geniuses. As long as there is a fight, the whole classroom will suffer. Classmate Luo Saidong, he already hit me, don't you think I can endure it? Guzu looked at Luo Saidong, the smile on his lips became colder and colder, and at the same time he condensed two red flames with his hands. Oh, by the way, didn't you just say that he is not such a useless person? Then let him prove it to himself, let's don't hide behind you like a turtle. Luo Saidong frowned. She was about to speak, but at this time Lin Yang came out. Self-certification is not necessary, right? But I can beat you to the ground. Beat me, who do you think you are? You have that strength. Guzu sneered disdainfully and was about to start taunting mode. However, Lin Yang didn't expect any unnecessary words. He raised his hand and blasted him with a water dragon bomb. Before Guzu could react, he was blown away by the huge water flow like a water dragon. Guzu flew backwards for 3 or 4 meters, and his back hit the wall hard. Not only was the flame condensed in his hands extinguished, but he also turned into a drowned rat, all wet and embarrassed. Seeing this scene, everyone in the classroom widened their eyes and their mouths turned into an "oh" shape. Holy shit, that classmate actually defeated Guzu with one move. Isn't this too strong? Yeah, it's too strong. Even if you don't count the ability of water to defeat fire, he can defeat Guzu with one move. His strength has reached at least level 3, right? It's really scary. Level 3. More than okay. You just saw the instant water-based ultimate move. This level of control can only be achieved by a strong water-based move at level 4, right? Level 4. This mud horse is a bit outrageous, isn't it? How old is this classmate? Everyone in the classroom was shocked by Lin Yang, and everyone looked dumbfounded. The way they looked at Lin Yang was different. The girls' faces were even more astonished, and they looked a little crazy looking at Lin Yang's expression. Oh my god, that handsome guy is not only super handsome, but also super strong. He is so charming. Yes, he is so handsome. He is simply my boyfriend. What is this classmate's name? I want him to be my boyfriend. Brother is so handsome, brother, nourish me. This Lin Yang, when did he awaken the water element again? He didn't even tell me. Luo Saidong pouted, seeming a little dissatisfied. In fact, she was not very surprised that Lin Yang defeated Guzu with one move. Lin Yang can easily kill even the 4th level expert, let alone the 2nd level advanced Guzu. Isn't this just enough to fill the gap between his teeth? However, she was a little surprised at the speed of Lin Yang's second awakening of the elemental system. She secretly calculated that after adding the previous thunder, fire, and earth elements, Lin Yang now had 4 elemental systems. There are 4 elemental systems, and there is also the divine system of elemental gods. Isn't this a bit outrageous? It made her a little envious of Lin Yang. Maid, how dare you, hiss. Mr. Gu, are you okay? Are you injured? When his master was beaten, Wang Dao originally wanted to glare at Lin Yang, but he found Lin Yang looking over. He was so frightened that he took a breath of cold air on the spot. He didn't dare to look around anymore and ran out in disguise. Cough 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 cough. Over there, Guzu was hit by a water cannon and couldn't stand up. He also choked on the water and felt like he had 10th grade tuberculosis. He coughed until his lungs were about to fly out. Lin Yang snorted coldly. He felt that Guzu was lucky. Fortunately, there were no pools, rivers, etc. around him. Otherwise, with the blessing of environmental attributes, the power of the water dragon bullet would be 5 or 6 times stronger. At that time, with Guzu's 2nd level advanced body, even if he was not taken away by a wave of water cannons, he would still have to go to the hospital and stay in bed for 2 months. Shang Renxin saw that Ji Yu's defeat was certain, so he came out to break up the fight again. Classmate Ji Yu, have you seen it? Not only is that classmate not a D-level talent awakener, but his water element is stronger than yours, and he can kill you in one move. So, don't make things difficult for me anymore. After all, we are all classmates, so why bother? Puff. Because Shang Renxin's words were a bit funny, especially, "I'll kill you with one move," it was like rubbing salt into the wound, which directly made many people around him laugh. Ji Yu's face turned dark at that time. Mada, are you sick? Which pot is not open and which pot is lifted? It's hard for me to catch my breath, but you have to come out to piss me off, right? If you don't know how to break up a fight, just shut up, okay? Please. However, as a loser among losers, Ji Yu knew how embarrassing his current situation was. If he loses his temper with Shang Renxin, he might not have to be in this class anymore, so he quickly said, "What? What's so much stronger than me? How can you kill me in one move? I just wasn't ready." Yes, if he hadn't made a sneak attack, my fire element wouldn't have lost to him. Ji Yu felt so embarrassed to forcefully regain his respect, but he still held on. There was nothing he could do. As the second high school student in Sha country, he had many fans. If this matter spreads out, not only will he be laughed at by others, but he will also lose a lot of cannon wire. The loss will be very serious. How dare you use your fire power like a candle in the wind to blow it away? Lin Yong couldn't help but laugh after hearing this. He took a step forward and looked at Ji Yu with a domineering look. "And don't make any mistake, it wasn't me who attacked you just now, my move was a quick move. It was because your level was too low. There's just not enough time to deal with it. Of course, if you are just not ready as you said, I don't mind giving you another chance. When you are ready, you can clash with my water dragon, water element." What? Your water element defeats my fire element, and my attributes are suppressed. This duel is not fair at all, okay. Ji Yu felt weak on the spot. He just tried to regain his respect and was too stubborn to talk. If he really wanted to fight Lin Yang, even if he tried his best, he still wouldn't be able to withstand Lin Yang's water dragon bullet attack. At least he felt that before his strength reached the third level intermediate level, his fire attacks could not compete with Lin Yang's water dragon bullets. Hey, many students around him showed disdain. They were also discerning, and they could tell at a glance that Ji Yu was cowardly and afraid of Lin Yang, but still refused to admit defeat. This couldn't help but make them feel that Ji Yu, the second high school student in Sha country, was so inferior and lacking in qualifications. Lin Yang smiled. "If you think it's unfair that the attributes of water versus fire are suppressed, I can compare with you in another way," Lin Yang said, raising his right hand high. Bake. The entire classroom was illuminated and turned fiery red. It turned out that Lin Yang had condensed a huge fireball with a diameter of 2 to 3 meters wide. Oh my god. Fire element, he actually has a talent for fire element. Water element, fire element, he is actually a double S-level talent awakener. The surrounding students all saw it, and they were once again shocked by Lin Yang. Many of them were even shocked to the point of being speechless. Fire element, this. How is this possible? Ji Yu was also shocked. He didn't expect that Lin Yang, in addition to water talent, also had fire talent. Moreover, the flames that Lin Yang condensed and the speed at which he condensed the flames were much stronger than him. Not even on the same level. Young Master Ji Yu, we seem to have provoked a terrible person, please retreat quickly. The dog-legged Wang Dao was so frightened by Lin Yang that his legs were shaking a little. Now he just wants to run away. Yes, withdraw first, withdraw first. Ji Yu nodded repeatedly. He was also a little frightened by Lin Yang. If he didn't withdraw, I'm afraid his second high school student label would be shattered to pieces. Because the Lin Yang in front of him is much better than him, the second high school student. Compared to what? Who wants to compete with you? Do I know you very well? It's inexplicable. I'm going to change clothes now, but I don't have time to talk to you. Ji Yu said, turned around and wanted to withdraw. However, at this time, Lin Yang reached out and grabbed Ji Yu's shoulder. Why are you grabbing my shoulder? I'm warning you, I'm. Guzu turned around and was about to say something special. Snapped. However, before he finished speaking, he was slapped to the ground by Lin Yang. Maid, why did you hit me? Snapped. Guzu gritted his teeth. He was about to stand up, but was knocked down by Lin Yang's slap again. Just now you spread rumors about me and damaged my image in front of so many classmates in the class. It seems you haven't apologized to me yet, right? Lin Yang dispersed the huge fireball above. He took 2 steps forward and looked down at Guzu on the ground with domineering eyes. I haven't apologized yet, where are you going? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.